And top of the morning to you on a happy Monday. Look who's back.
Hey, man.
No. Now that
What?
I've looked even further, so for people that are joining us to kick off your week, and first of all, we are blessed that you are spending time with us here till 10 o'clock today. We are on 1620 The Zone TV.
We are.
Yeah, I was the only OG of this show last week.
You were.
Peter was here on Friday.
I didn't listen to too much of the show.
Good, you shouldn't.
I dipped in every once in a while, but it was very funny on the Monday show when you let off, when you go, yeah, it's first week of training camp, and I'm the only one here.
Yeah.
He kind of left you out to dry a little bit, my friend. I'm sorry about that.
Two of the three are here. You got to shave that thing. So again, people that are watching, that are tuning in this morning on 1620 The Zone TV, and it works.
It looks good.
I can't do this. I can't do. I got a lot of stuff going on today.
Yeah.
I can't do 3 hours looking at whatever is on your lip.
Okay.
That is atrocious.
So,
I like the beard.
You do.
Yes,
you do.
The mustache looks awful.
So first off, that's rude.
Shave.
Okay.
Did you bring a razor just in case?
I did not. I thought
so you're
about
gonna
it.
go all day with this?
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna go tomorrow with it. Okay. I am self-aware. This looks terrible. I understand that it looks like I have a roach on my top lip right now.
I mean, kudos for you for. I know what you were doing. You wanted to grow it so you would show it to me.
Yes.
But Luigi.
I look like Elijah Herbel. I look like Elijah. I felt like I shaved it. It's a little fat like his as well. Here's the thing. So you are a great supporter of the beard. You are an incredible hype man when it came to the beard. You told me over and over again.
Who doesn't like it?
You go, no one does. I mean, I just had never done it before. And then I told you 2 weeks ago, I go, hey, I experimented with the mustache. It does not look good. And you said, you got to try it. I got to see it. What do you mean? You were convinced that it would be a good look for me. So this is my payback to you. This is my payback. This is me showing you that I was right. Looks terrible. So look, I'm going to shave it. I won't have it tomorrow. But yeah, I am going the entire day with the mustache.
Do you think Peter's in for Jimmy, who's still away on paternity leave? Do you think there is a razor in the building that we could get rid of this?
It's not that bad.
Do we have an emergency bathroom?
I do.
Razor?
I do have a razor in the console, the side console in my car.
Why?
Well, in case you get in the car and you got to do a little touch up.
That's never
like in the morning. So
occurred.
I'm like,
it's actually quite
sometimes
smart.
like there underneath the chin, I miss some.
Yeah.
So
like you'll rub your face and be like, I forgot.
I have a razor.
But do you have a razor in your bathroom as well?
Yeah. Oh, I'm a multi-razor guy.
Whoa.
Very bougie.
He's got it covered.
You bought a second razor to put in your side console?
Well, I should say it's not an electric razor.
Oh, it's a regular
regular razor.
Okay, it's a blade.
Oh, I'm not that crazy that I would put like a fancy dancy
Wouldn't that be a baller
razor.
move?
Not really.
I feel like that's kind of
not really because I don't brush my teeth in the car.
I do. I have before. I actually do have a spare. I have a little baggie in my car.
Yeah.
Spare deodorant and spare toothbrush and toothpaste.
Yeah, I think we all have that in case of emergency break glass bag.
But
you get in a little bit of trouble. You're an Axe body spray guy.
No, God no. Why did I feel like that's another insult?
Anybody that's going to wear a mustache like that, I think, has like Amazon automatic Axe body spray shows up every 2 weeks.
You know, I was gone for a week, and I really thought that I would come back, and there would be like a bit of a, hey man, like I missed you, like kumbaya.
That thing threw me off.
Like we're in football season, we're gonna have a great time, and is there
going to be stuff coming out of there?
No, there's not. It's a fine mustache.
Peter,
be honest.
What do you think, Peter?
I'm looking at it through the other screen. It looks so bad over there. Peter, what do you think? 1 to 10, my man.
I'm coming at this from the perspective of someone who cannot grow a mustache. I've tried and it looks absolutely terrible. So I can't dock you too much because you can actually grow a mustache. But
just get to it.
Should we?
You got to shave that thing.
Yeah,
that's like by 7. That's got to be off the.
No,
by
what
7.
Do you mean?
We're giving you 1 hour.
Rusty, dusty old razor in your car to get rid of this thing.
Vince says Ron Jeremy look. Are you familiar with Ron Jeremy?
No, I'm not.
Are you Googling Ron Jeremy?
I am. No, I look better than Ron Jeremy. Who is he's in a
I
who
just
is Ron Jeremy? This doesn't this he's in
You don't know who Ron Jeremy is?
No, I
maybe that's a
don't.
good thing. Maybe that's a good thing.
He's
You
in
do
a
not-
jumpsuit. Oh, he's an actor. Okay.
I guess that's one way to describe Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
he's
yeah.
well,
He's an actor. He's part of
Esteemed
the
actor.
Screen Actors Guild.
he was,
Ron Jeremy.
Well, it just
I
says,
wonder if he made a cameo in Naked Gun. He did not.
did you watch Naked Gun?
No, but it is getting good reviews.
It's getting incredible.
Yeah.
reviews.
I just watched the
Uh,
said it
original
was-
last night for the first time, and anything that happened at the baseball game had me laughing so hard I had tears in
Yeah, I
my
haven't
eyes.
seen it.
I've heard it's banger after banger of jokes. Like,
Oh, it's
it's like just watching Happy Gilmore too. You don't expect it to be like an award winning. You just want to go in there and laugh. I think we need to laugh more. I'm hearing Naked
more
Gun makes you laugh.
comedies, more.
See,
comedy.
it's one of the best comedies that's come out over recently. They just don't do comedies like they used to back in the 2000s. I can't. I
You
should
gotta
have brought
shave.
a
You gotta
razor.
shave that thing.
Okay, I'm still
Like,
laughing.
can you like order? Can like do you have like DoorDash could drop
You don't
off?
think there's any redeeming quality about this mustache?
No,
You
'cause
don't-
I got to stare at you.
Immediate
I'm
no.
not gonna look at you for.
Well,
for-
when Peter was
show.
talking, you were looking at your screen the entire time, and now you've done it 3 times now, where you look at you just did it,
Yeah.
where you look at it and you shake your head.
Hey, thank God football is back.
Yeah, we don't have to. Man, if we were in the middle of July, this would be a 4-hour show just on the mustache. I
you
did
know-
trim it a little too, though. I really gave it my
Well,
best
By
effort.
7, I hope it's off the top.
It's
of your
not going to be. You are going to have to deal with this for the
Is
entire.
that going
of
to
the
turn
show.
into a butterfly?
Why would it turn into a butterfly?
Because it looks like a caterpillar.
It's thick. I don't know how to make it thinner. It's a thick mustache.
Well, there's a lot of ways to go with that comment, but you know that it's football season when you wake up and you're thinking about helmets. That's what I woke up thinking about today. Helmets, like the Michigan helmet starts as a all maize helmet,
Yeah.
and then they put in the wings, all that kind of stuff. That's when you know it's football season. But football is back. It's also yesterday was the last Sunday without football for a long, long time. It is also to some. It is because we're going to start to see more traffic here on Dodge.
Are you gonna?
No, I'm just messing with you.
So no, we should probably do a PSA though that there will be probably times where you just stop talking to
Yeah.
look at how disgusting it looks. It's not that.
Can you
bad.
put a mask on?
No,
Oh.
I'm not gonna put a mask on.
Okay.
This is really mean. Okay, I need confidence. All right, I'm a
Even-
single.
no,
I'm a
because
single. I'm a
even-
single
even
young
you-
man.
Even you walked in and you're like, but
I'm
I don't know. I don't know.
Is that your impersonation?
I
of me?
don't know. I don't know. No pepperoni, no sausage.
I was about to
No,
say,
no, no, no,
I'm
no,
not-
no, no,
I'm
no.
not- I'm not a
Uh.
Sicilian. Okay, I'm born and raised in America. I just have a weird accent.
Do you want a corner or do you want a middle?
Forget about it.
But this is for some the last full week before people go back to school. Peter,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
our
on.
beloved District 66, they go back to school on Thursday. I got to have some speaks with Mike Lucas.
It's getting earlier every year.
It is.
Yeah. So welcome. But traffic will pick up here on Dodge, which will be kind of fun. But also football is here. And I'm here to tell you that we have lots to talk about on what happened Saturday night in Lincoln. It was like a little appetizer, little bit of an appetizer. It got on your lips. It's like that first beer you drink. It gets on your lips. Now going down, you're like, okay, I didn't do that watching Nebraska. I didn't go,
You didn't gargle.
I went,
You were licking your
Mm.
lips
Yeah.
of your Michelob Ultra after your
Oh, no.
Runza was just
No.
sitting in your stomach.
I did not drink any beer.
Okay.
I did. I had a post practice beer,
Okay.
but I did not have an in practice beer.
Is that going to be weird for you, or for
To not
people?
drink?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, is it going to be weird for people drinking at a football game?
I think this is such an overrated story.
The
Beer being in Memorial Stadium. It's an afterthought.
But
Like I still can't believe that Bill Moose made such a big deal about it. It's Memorial Stadium is a professional sports venue now.
Mhm.
So the prices that people got to see firsthand on Saturday night are in line
yeah,
with the Baxter Arena, the Chai. But Memorial Stadium is a professional sports franchise. If you're complaining about the prices, go to a Philadelphia Eagle game.
oh,
Lincoln Financial, I mean, those prices are through the roof. So Memorial Stadium is a professional sports venue. I think it's a non-story. It's not going to be all of a sudden there's just going to be people brawling in the stands or anything like that. I just think it's a convenience that we've gotten accustomed to when we go to our sporting events.
I think we'll get over it quickly. Like, we'll stop talking about beer at Memorial Stadium pretty rapidly.
Well,
because you're going to have a beer and you're going to be like, all right, cool. You're going to have one, and then you're going to be.
I hope we're talking about the football.
Well, I know, but then you're going to have two, and then you're going to look at your bank account and be like, do I really want to spend 35 on a third beer? You're laughing at the person who just called.
Yes. All right. We usually don't take calls in the first segment unless they call on the VIP line. So this guest calls in. We're not even going to make up a name. Good morning, Damon.
Hey, Damon.
Hey, what is going on? I got it. So, two quick things. Number one,
yes,
people were giving me a hard time for. I think they think we're not boys. They're like, "Well, how are you going to talk to Connor, but you're not going to talk to Sharpie?" I'm like, I talk to Sharpie like 3 times a week. Like, I at least text him. I don't too much text Connor without Josh. So. There's that, right? I called the show. Right. The other thing is,
I love you, by the way.
Go ahead.
I love you.
I appreciate that, man. The other thing is, so I had to drop Micah off this morning because we have early workouts for.
Yeah.
I think they only give us like a 3-day window before we got to shut it down.
Yeah.
He thinks that you are bullying the funny style cat next to you. Now he's out of the car now because he's already at Westside.
Okay.
But I was just trying to explain to him that I think, Matt, you can hold your own, or are you just going to get ran over by Sharpie because you grew a little cookie duster?
Damon, it looks bad.
Yes,
it looks really bad. Like you,
I feel like this is an emotional plea. He's like, Damon.
Well, look, I'm just trying to tell you that I can hold my ground, right? Like I can throw it back at Sharpie every once in a while, but I also know when to.
He can be a menace.
No, I'm aware, but there are moments, Damon. I'm sure you've had this in your life where you kind of have to wave the white flag in terms of how can I defend myself.
Hey.
I don't know, man. Hop on the YouTube and look at this thing. This is a wave the white flag moment.
It's awful.
His delivery, that it must truly be awful because he's distracted, and that
he is distracted. He is looking at it a lot. And I've tried to say some points here, and he audibly cracks up when I start talking because it's a worm. It's a worm. It's not porn stash. It's not sexy. It's not anything like. It's not attractive at all. It's really bad.
So why didn't you? I'm just curious. Like, why didn't you shave it?
Well, so this was I told him 2 weeks ago that it would look bad, and he was convinced that it would look good. He was like, I think it would look good. You got to try it.
It looks bad.
I had people tell me, no, don't do it. He goes, no, you got to try it. And so I tried it for him today.
Yeah.
And it's
this guy put up with me wearing sunglasses in the dark.
Oh,
well, for like 3 years.
Hey, I told the story. I told the story about we did shows in the dark.
Well, I was watching some old Sharp and Benning stuff, and you guys really did do it in the dark. And then one day I was working in the dark. I got here early, and somebody walked in, and they're like, "Oh, you're like Damon." I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like they're like Damon never wanted to turn the lights on. You're just working in the dark. I go, "Yeah, my eyes are bad. I get like the glare from the blue light."
Yeah, the struggle would have been real with the days of we were like pre-TV stream. Like I would have been miserable. It only took me 50 years to get acclimated to it. So baby steps.
Yeah.
I can't believe you were gone for the start of camp though.
What do you mean?
I get it. Bishop is like super old and he's grandfather. And he likes to go to Iowa for races. That's every year.
That's this week.
But like, at least he's here when it starts. Like, what are we doing?
What do you? Okay, look, I had not taken a day off in a while.
I get the fuck.
And I told from the get-go, by the way, from like March, I told people, hey, last week of July, that's my week off. That's my vacation. It just happened to coincide with the first week of football, but I'm here now. We're 24 days away. We're fine.
Okay.
We're okay.
Okay. You guys realize that you catch, I don't know, Maddie, if you heard it, but G-Funk, did you catch that they only get 7 more padded practices
Yeah.
until the game?
So that's ridiculous, and that's why I'm an advocate of
That
it.
is incredible.
I'm an advocate of exhibition games, even if it's public or private. It's the only sport that doesn't do exhibition games.
I had to get clarity. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
When you said that number, did you mean until the start of the week of practice
No.
or the 27th? He looked dead at me and said the 27th.
Yeah.
Bro.
It's uncomfortable, man. You know, if you don't know your roster that well, it's super uncomfortable.
Oh, for sure.
Oh.
For sure. And, you know, they're figuring it out. Like, and I think I told you, like, I'm giving a little grace to Saturday because it was the first day of pads.
And I'm with
And
you.
people are kind of like eye rolling a little bit. I'm like, you got to use those things sparingly, man. They did us a solid by having that be a regular practice.
Yes.
Like, they don't get them very often.
Yeah. So, you know, and what we were talking about yesterday, I think like initially, you know, you kind of observe some things. I think I've seen this enough that you don't make any sweeping judgments after the first week. I don't think the way they set it up Saturday night, and I loved it. I don't know why there weren't more people there, but I loved how they set it up. I think that was a tough night to be really good defensively, like to shine.
Yeah, I do. I would agree. And we may, because we didn't like get in depth. I don't know if we agree for the same reasons, but I agree because number one, this sounds dumb, but you're sitting around, you got media day, you've been in meetings, you're and kissing babies and literally, and you know, then you got to kind of ramp it up emotionally. Now I get it, you should be excited, but there is a transition your body has to go through, and you're at night too. You know what I mean,
Damon?
So go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you: is there like a number of practices you felt like?
You picked that up from Gary too, where I don't get to finish my thoughts.
Well, I'm bad at coming in and out. I didn't mean I would have let you keep going.
Don't treat me like your ex.
No, you don't want that.
Oh, hell no.
What's up, Matty?
Even I know that. Hey,
what's up?
Was there a prerequisite number of practices you think it took for you to get your legs under you? And is 7 enough?
So long ago. I don't think so. I don't think so. So I think, plus that, you know, they moved out of the facility yesterday. I think the weekend with how they get after it, I don't think their bodies will recalibrate until probably tomorrow or Wednesday, maybe, because they went in, you had to do recovery yesterday. You moved out of the dorms. You get a chance to get reacclimated. You hopefully will get one day off this week and I'm normally not an advocate of like, you know, downtime. I do think rest is important. I'm not an old school don't drink water guy, but I do think they could probably use a day off just because of how they get after it. Yeah. I think they do the best that they can to be as physical as they can in all their group work and stuff, where they got some pretty slick rules, right? If I'm in front of you and you can see me, expect a collision. If I'm on the side or the side view mirror, lay off, sprint, get your head in front. If I'm behind you and I'm a tackler, hey, lay off, right? So as long as you know that that's the tempo and those are the rules every day, like you can build in thudding up. Because listen, if you're in front of me, there is no, well, he ran hard, I didn't think he was gonna. There is no guesswork, right? If you can look him in the whites of his eyes, expect collision. So I like the way that they do that, and I like the tempo in which they practice. But do I think they have their legs? I don't.
Hey,
I don't.
I think it's going to be from like the media perspective and the fan perspective. Like Saturday night was good to see certain things, and I think we all kind of know what they can be and what they have. It's going to be a long 3 weeks. It's going to be a long 3 weeks.
No,
now just
agree,
go play.
Right?
Go play.
I agree, because there's, you know, I think Nick Boss said it best years ago. This is like 2014, 2015. Remember, he had the spiel where it's tough when you're kind of on the inside and you, he was joking about being an insider, right? It wasn't just me specific or such and such specific or like you talking about Omaha. But as you know, like if you're talking about things with the Mavericks, there'll be things that you know that the rest of us don't know.
Yeah.
And we'll have like these takes and you're going to be like, that ain't it.
Yeah.
So like this week, we got to kind of just slow down because everybody's going to have their hot takes. And I'm with you. I think it's going to be a process. I think there's going to be a lot of moving, and I think there's going to be a lot of sorting around.
And you know which sorting around part I really want to happen.
What's that?
Well, I mean, I will be curious to watch 28.
Yeah, he good week. So I think for him, like this is the dad in me. This isn't be honest. For him, I think Saturday validated his summer. Right. So he needed to hear what he heard on Saturday night heading into yesterday, I think, to continue to climb. I mean, all biases, I think he's going to be pretty good. So, I was nervous, man. You know how I get.
Yeah, I know.
I do not look forward to those days. I don't love it. But I am surprised. I like the coach's feedback. I think there's going to be a ton of shuffling to begin with, and I'm excited.
Hey,
I'm excited.
Hey, one final thing, kind of about Saturday night, and it wasn't really geared for the defense to shine the entire time. How do you think Rule, the first time he's asked about it, how do you think he'll respond to his comfort level of what he saw?
You ding dong. I don't think he'll be happy.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be happy because I think there's two things I think he thinks you always better be able to do. And that is control your effort and be physical. And I'm not sure he loved what he saw defensively Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think there's a standard and there's a consistency that probably he saw first part of the week that wasn't necessarily there on Saturday night.
Yeah. But I think he does understand perspective, but it also gives him the opportunity to like go back and get after it. Because isn't it funny how we kind of at least contemplated like, because he jokes about, what do I do? And I used to be a really good coach, and now I have these good coordinators. Make no mistake, that's his football team, and it has his pulse all over that thing. If he doesn't like it, the free world will know, and it starts with those coordinators.
Yeah. Hey, are you going to do the walk and talk with him on the practice field or walking off the field?
I don't know, man. We got this huge meeting Wednesday at 1:30 with the network. So we're going to tinker with a bunch of stuff. And you know me.
So you're going to be back?
At the end of the day, I'll bark and I'll complain, but it's like, he'll do what he's told. Yeah. Like, it's whatever.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Hey, thanks for the call. Say hello to Micah.
I appreciate it.
Hey, and also one other thing.
Go ahead.
Because you and I are in a similar situation Thursday night at Arrowhead. You more than me. How are you going to be able to handle your team playing North on the same night?
Listen, I haven't slept since. I'm not kidding you. Do you know what we've tried to do to get that game moved?
Oh, I know, because that's a TV game.
Oh, that's right. I forget.
Yeah.
And you have you know people over in the district.
Yes.
That's really why I was supposed to call. Mike was like, lay off Doc Lucas, and I was like, easy, buddy.
School starts on Thursday.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Mike.
We're well aware.
Oh, yeah.
But listen, I'm dread. You know me, man. Like I am dreading. I don't have anything to look forward to. I want to be excited about Nebraska.
And you are.
We open with a school that I'm super familiar with, and they're going to be better than the free world knows. And they beat our heads in 7-on-7. Like, it's my kid. Like he's going to be he's a sophomore starter, right? Like,
wow,
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I got to go. It's not bad. It's just tough, right?
Yeah.
Because I get to go see the other knucklehead.
Yeah.
Play in the opener. So, but I'm torn, man. It's tough.
All right, my friend.
How'd you like to be D-Rock?
Yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be really tough.
It's his boys. Arian's playing and Donovan's playing. Like he's in the same boat.
Well, they'll have to get used to that down the road. when one goes to Lincoln and the other goes to Iowa City.
Hey, that's what he gets, huh?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, moving back to cornerback.
No comment.
All right. Have a good
Boy, you're
yeah.
something else.
Hey. Have a good show or whatever you're doing today. I'm not really sure what you do
Yeah,
anymore.
I am circling the block, waiting for my partner, and I just saw your little buddy with his backpack on and his hiking boots. Nothing's changed.
Well, tell him hello as well. We'll talk to you later.
See you, Damon.
You got it, buddy.
That's Damon Benning, who happens to be the analyst on the Husker Sports Network and has a son who
It's pretty damn good.
I guess you could use this word. His son is on the come.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, even through the Pinstripe Bowl, he looked really, really good. But that whole process of him, because I know that there was the development of whether or not he was going to go to Nebraska and the offers or whatnot. He was watching his film. Caleb Benning was just always a football player to me, and just always a really, really good football player. And it's been awesome to see a guy like that because this program is all about the measurables, and they're all about the length, and they're all about the 4.4, and they're all about. But to me, Caleb Benning was always just really good at football, and they just got a really good football player, and to see him develop like that's been really cool.
Yep, the sense of urgency was that was one of the takeaways I had on Saturday night. We'll have more, as now we are into football season. So let's trade Micah Parsons. Let's talk about your diva quarterback, and let's talk with all of you.
My diva quarterback?
Oh my God.
How is he a diva quarterback?
Oh,
what has he been doing that's diva?
Oh, I don't know. I don't see as many quarterbacks pout.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He wasn't pouting.
Yeah.
He missed the target and he got upset.
Who would have thought that Ben Johnson more popular than Caleb Williams?
That always was going to be the case.
Not even. It's like a one-sided Richard Daly against a piece of wood. All right. You can always join the conversation. If you were in Lincoln on Saturday night, we got to figure out a way. That's a great event. Only 2,500 were there on a beautiful night for football, but it was a busy day, and there's a lot of takeaways. Some are good takeaways. Others are, it's the first week, and it was the first padded practice. You can always join us on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, 402-951-1620. Matt's back in. Peter is here as well. It's Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. All right, before the week is over, there'll be preseason football. All of college football is in camps. Week number 2 in Lincoln kicks off this morning, where we will talk more about being bipedal.
What?
That's Archie Wilson.
I heard he was booming punts.
He looks very effortless. He's the reason why you hire Mike Eckler.
I saw I think it was like a picture of him punting and how high that ball went into the air. And from what you saw, could you tell like there was more strength in his right leg than his left leg, or was it pretty
It's kind of even.
Okay.
It's very effortless.
That's incredible.
But every time I watched him punt, but that's why you hire Mike Eckler. Mike Eckler's connections and being comfortable with a rugby style punter. You call up Pro Kick Australia and you go, you know what? This is Mike Eckler. I'm ready to go shopping. And they say, Eck, how's it going? What do you need? He says, I need this, this, and this. I also need a guy that before his career is over in Nebraska is going to knock somebody out on a punt return. He's going to make a tackle. He's going to knock that person out. And so the guy on the other line goes, mate, gotcha. I'll be sending a guy your way. And the next thing you know, you get Archie Wilson.
I love how you talk about that as if like it was a jewelry store, you know?
But that's what it is.
I know.
Pro Kick Australia is you essentially just build a relationship with them, and it's online shopping. Like they don't have profiles. It's not like the Australian punter that they want to send to an American college. It's not like a dating app. But you say, hey, this is what we need. This is our situation. Do you have anybody that would fit that? Can we see some stuff? And the person on the other line goes,
I got a guy for you.
I got another guy on the other line about some white wolves. I'll get back to you. And then you all of a sudden end up with Archie Wilson. I thought the specialists, and again, first practice, no big takeaways. The place kickers, there's a difference in terms of foot strength, but they were all really good from about 30 to 45 yards. Yeah. Archie Wilson is a thing. And then the other thing that we will talk about this week, because I'm just going to say this every day now for a long time. I don't think, because he's kind of flown under the radar nationally, like the next Chip Kelly. And maybe it is people doubt him because the Big Ten, it's not the Big 12. Just everybody pause for a moment. That Dana Holgorsen is the offensive coordinator at the University of Nebraska Lincoln. Dana Holgorsen is the offensive coordinator at the University of Nebraska Lincoln. Of all of the offensive coordinators that we've had here, and they all have their own little quirks, from Matt Lubick to Mark Whipple. But just watching Dana Holgorsen either behind a podium or out on the field coaching, I'm like, that guy is the offensive coordinator at Nebraska. That is amazing. It's not getting a lot of national run, though.
So when I watch these guys who like set up their phones on Twitter, right, and then they do like just the one shot, and then they start talking about a bunch of teams so they can get viral on Twitter, because that's what a lot of college football national media is now. Just a bunch of one shots and guys trying to talk about as many teams so they can get as much attention. They never bring up Dana. Like they bring up, they brought in Dana Holgorsen, or hey, they Dylan Raiola is going to have a full off season with Dana. Like that's always the line, but there never really is the whole like in-depth, hey, this guy was a really good coach at West Virginia. This guy, it didn't work out for him at Houston, but it wasn't like Houston was a tomato can for the entire time that he was there. And I also don't think they bring up enough that there definitely is the benefit of having a former head coach on a team this young. Right, like having a team that, what's the number? It was like almost 90 guys are either freshmen or sophomores, and you definitely do lack some of that experience that you would like to have on the field. I feel like to have another guy who's just been at the helm before, who just understands how to be the head coach, who knows the importance of connecting with players, is something that is so important, and yet we just kind of it's a sentence.
Well, I think
they got Dana.
I think I know from the Nationals' perspective is it's not the Big 12. And what will he be able to do against the Big Ten? Now, be very, very afraid if all of a sudden Nebraska is rattling off 4 touchdowns at least a game offensively against Big Ten defenses, because the coaching in the Big Ten is fantastic, especially on that side of the ball that you're going against. And, weather factors in. And also people pay attention to defense, okay? They are designed to stop you. But if he has success here, I don't think he's the next Chip Kelly, because I don't think Chip Kelly will be a head coach anymore. I think there's part of Dana that would like to do it one more time, but I don't sense that he's like, okay, I'm using this job to get somewhere else. He likes it here. But, if a place like Mississippi State opens up, Dana would be a connection there. But he's the offensive coordinator at Nebraska. That is wild.
Your point with I don't think national people pay attention because, it's not the Big 12. I feel like those national people then haven't been paying attention because he's made it very, like, he had 4 games, right, as the offensive coordinator in Nebraska. They weren't running the air raid or anything close to it.
They weren't scoring points.
Now,
they had the Wisconsin game.
Yes. And on top of that, though, he made it very clear, and he's continued to say, hey, the offense hasn't changed. The offense hasn't changed that much. We're still keeping a lot of the same things that we've kept. It's just you have a different brain trust now. You just have a different set of eyes.
No, you're in a different league. I mean, you can't overlook that. He's in a different league. If he has success in the Big Ten, I mean, watch out. I don't know why it's not more of a story. And maybe it was when he go back to November. I just thought the ramp up to this year, there would be more about. You guys know that Dana Holgorsen is the offensive coordinator at Nebraska. Here is Brian to finish the hour on the Prairie Flower Zone hotline. Good morning, Brian.
What's going on, Gary?
Hey, how you doing? It is football season. Yes. Welcome back.
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me back.
All right.
You mentioned 2 things. I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Dana Holgorsen, I like for him to remain under the radar, kind of like what the Cowboys were doing until Jerry Jones ran his big mouth and did his stupid thing. I think if he can do what I can't remember the previous offensive coordinator name because that's how sorry he was. If he could do something, have those tight ends be explosive, I think forget that college. He might be ready to go to the NFL after that.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of, like, you can see, and B, you'll see this. There's a lot of influence in the 8-month ramp up to the start of this season that you can see, like what he's done with Dylan. Like Dylan gets the ball out quicker. You know that the game has slowed down for Dylan, and I think Dana is a big part of that. But he's got man, you talk about the tight ends, B. He's got opportunities. They've done a really good job, not just offense but defense. They have options now. They're not going to be pigeonholed into we got to play this guy because we don't have anything else. And I think on offense they have plenty of options to put the ball in people's hands.
Yes, and I can't wait to see it. But let him remain under the radar. We don't need anybody talking about him right now. Just come out and prove it on the field. And Michael Parsons, you said it right. Hey, the Dallas Cowboys will never be anything as long as the Joneses are running the team or still breathing. That's all I have to say.
Hey, you as a Cowboy guy, he hung up. Diehard Cowboy fan. I like this. I like fight drama with drama. People that are in relationships that thrive on drama, fight them back with drama.
Did you see what Jerry said? He's like, this is no different than what we've done before. I'm not worried about the trade request. Like, he's like, we've been through this S show so many times, and I've screwed up the situation over and over again that this is just another offseason for us.
Players can't trade themselves. He's not going anywhere. No. And whether you dislike him or not, and you're a Cowboy fan and you're frustrated, I don't think Jerry Jones can screw this up as ugly as this has kind of got.
But they've all gotten ugly. That's like CD got ugly.
No, but
Dak got a little ugly.
They do the same thing. I don't know why they wait because it costs them, and then they overpay. But I don't think Jerry can mess this up because, again, players can't trade themselves, and you would be you would take the franchise away from Grandpa if he traded Micah Parsons. I don't think it happens. But Jerry Jones strikes me, and there's a lot of people that we all know that are like this. They know what is the right thing to do, but if people tell them what to do, they're going to fight back and they're going to string it out as long as possible because they want it to be, this was my decision, not you forced me into doing something. And that's what I kind of see in Dallas.
Do you think his son has to convince him that certain decisions were his decisions? Like he's that like I'm that's what I get struck by Jerry Jones. It's like if you have a really good idea, you almost have to convince him that it was his idea first.
Yeah.
So you do it.
Yeah.
And that is just like a terrible way of doing business. Also, too,
Well,
it's
that's kind of how big business is being done in this country right now, that philosophy.
well, also too, it's not like we're talking about a mom and pop coffee shop. Like we're talking about the $10 billion Dallas Cowboys in the National Football League. Like, hey, Jerry, how about you pay the best defensive player in the league what he's owed? Because you're going to have to do it eventually.
He will. He will. Do you think if the Cowboys, before the end of the Jerry Jones tenure, win a Super Bowl, Jerry would give up the trophy?
No.
You think he would hold
No.
on to the trophy and not let any of the players touch it?
Probably. It would be the most insufferable thing of all time. It would be so insufferable. But Cowboys fans are insufferable already. But then I even think Cowboys fans would lament kind of winning a Super Bowl in a way because they don't want Jerry to be right. Like that's
a
how that
rough world
that's
to live in.
that's how that relationship
That
is
a
right now.
really rough world.
The Cowboys are like, man, I would love for my team to win, but if it means that Jerry is going to be correct, I don't know if I fully want to do that.
All right, good start to the week. Banger of an hour. Let's finish it with a guy that's got a fantastic first name on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Gary. There's no better name than Mr. King.
Hey, we got to stick together. There are fewer of us out there.
There really are.
So where were you at sitting during the practice session Saturday night?
I bounced around. I had a good friend that brought his daughters to Fan Day. Then they got bored of running around the open section of the stadium, and then one of them had a meltdown, and then we had to move.
Oh no. Anyway, two questions.
Mm-hmm.
What was your overall thoughts about that practice, which I thought was pretty cool, other than the rugby style kicker? And then my second question is, after watching that, I understand it's just a practice. What did you think of our tight end room?
Thank you, Gary, for the call. Let's start with the tight end room.
Yeah.
I like the tight ends. I mean, I think they're all very, very capable. They all look the part. I think they love Lindenmeyer. It's pretty evident. Heinrich Haarberg, though, if Heinrich Haarberg leans into contact and he really embraces contact, and he did some blocking drills where he looked like he held his own. But if he leans into contact and he can take hits, take football hits as a tight end, not as a quarterback, he's going to be playing on Sunday. He has the body. He just also he's a good catch and turn it up field. Like he doesn't dingle and dangle once he catches the football. Like he has a purpose once he catches it. They have options. Be curious to see what they do with their blocking and if Markway's injury leads to less 12 personnel on the field, but the tight end room is in a really good spot.
I've always been confident that he would do well as a tight end just because he got his ass beat as a quarterback in 2023. And what I mean by that is he showed he was tough that season. I mean, and also too, he kind of put himself in certain situations to get hit and to get blown up and get beat up, but he got back up almost every single time. And so I feel like when you make that transition, you're a little bit worried about hey, is he going to want to take the contact? Is he going to want to initiate it? But the fact that he took a beating.
Oh yeah.
And he just kept coming and coming. So I was never really worried about that. He's 6'5", 230 and is one of the fastest guys on the team.
You know, from Monday's open practice availability and then to Saturday night, didn't see a lot of balls on the ground, especially out of the tight end room. The other part, again, it's the end of the first week. I would love to go back and do that event 2 weeks down the road to see where they're at. I don't think it's set up well for the defense because there was no tackling. And there's guys that I know are better tacklers in the secondary that in those scenarios Saturday night don't look like they know how to tackle. Like I didn't really notice the linebackers because what they were doing, it wasn't like it was linebacker
driven
centric.
Yeah.
So, to me, if I was having a takeaway and not thinking, hey, this is the first week, I would say, well, linebackers are, but I just didn't really notice them. But that doesn't mean they're not going to be good. I mean, Shavers is going to be a hell of a blitzer. He's a smart football player, man. They got more smart guys playing football on that side of the ball than they've had. Like last year, I think lack of football IQ hurt them in certain situations. They got smarter guys on the defensive side of the football. As Damon and I were talking, because we were kind of going back and forth the other night. I don't think Rule was overly enamored with his defense because the technique was a little bit off. They were a little bit sloppy, even when the wide receivers and defensive backs were beating the crap out of each other. But they have a standard where every day looks the same. So I wish almost that Rule would have talked after the practice instead of before, because I would have loved to get his thoughts on what he saw. But I'm here to tell you, and I know this is our job, and everybody wants to ramp it up. It's going to be a long 3 weeks. They have a lot of competition. I've already put Mekhi Nelson, Sharpie, backup running back, Andrew Marshall, Sharpie. He is the starting cornerback opposite Sierra Wright. Put those in. There's a couple other battles for position and playing time and rotation, all that. And then there's some guys that are on the milk carton that you're like, it's go time, especially if you're defensive back. But with that said, it's going to be a long 3 weeks because I saw enough on Saturday night, the sense of urgency and the vibe and the talent that they have. And again, options that they have if a guy sucks. Okay, so they have constructed a roster where if that wide receiver can't block on the perimeter, we don't have a backup, so he's got to continue to play, and he only hurts us. They've got options. So that's going to be tough. I've seen enough. Okay, I kind of have a sense of what this team can be. If they don't pop this year and make progress, but instead stay the same or take a step back, this fan base will be broken.
Oh my God.
They will be broken because you've got a head coach who loves being the head coach of Nebraska. And fans love the head coach. It's the first time in a long time. And I know it's crazy to say because he's 13-12, is the fans love the head coach because he loves being here. And so that bond is growing. And almost everything that Rule says now, people are like, oh, everything he does. You know, he did the walk along and on the practice field. It was great stuff. He walked off the field with Emmett.
That was a good moment.
But if it doesn't happen this year and it's the same or a step back, fan base is broken. I mean, it just is. We all have an idea of what it looks like, of what good football looks like, of what a winning program looks like. And I think if this program with this schedule this season weren't to win 8 games, you would doubt yourself of like, do I really know what it looks like? Do I really know what a winning program feels like? Because I think that they've done everything to make it look and feel like that. They've got some areas where the talent could be upgraded and they don't have that put them over the top talent, but they do have, like watching them practice, and they practice with a quick pace. Like again, I don't know how you get more people in there. They're only 2,500, and I thought it was better than last year. Last year was more of a showcase with Rule mic'd up. This year they ran it as a regular practice. I thought if you're a football person, you got more out of it. I think as a casual fan, you're like, oh, this is cool. Rule is talking. It's kind of fun. It's kind of like a little, it's a jamboree. You got more out of Saturday night than you got out of the Husker games, but they have a sense of urgency, like everything that they do. And watch this week. If Rule is hard on guys and he's hard on his team, that gives you even more a sense, in my opinion, what he thinks they have. Because if he lets some things slide and it's like, it's week 2, grind is starting to hit, then he's like, okay, let's ease guys in here. But if he ramps it up the next time he talks to the media and he's pretty short and direct and, maybe indirectly calls some guys out, that lets me know that he knows what they have and he's not going to allow them to lollygag into the start of the season.
I think he kind of reflected that, though, in the Big Ten media days. Because what was his main message at the Big Ten media days?
He's getting killed in Las Vegas today.
Why?
There's an article in the newspaper in Las Vegas about his comments about Vegas and
how college football shouldn't be in Vegas.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of a standard sentence. But anyway, I just think that the whole quiet confidence thing, and you were on it from the get-go, that's what they had. And I feel like he's been expressing that a little bit more and a little bit more. But there also was a little bit of desperation of like, this team needs to be confident that I know who I think they are.
A lot more to take away. We'll talk some quarterbacks. We will talk running backs. Running backs. 2 are created, unlike the others that are in that room. And Wally Pipp showed up Saturday night.
Was that the guy who played before Babe Ruth, right? Wally Pipp? Or was that Lou Gehrig?
It's Gary and Matt. When we return, Matt will be without that mustache
No, I won't.
and better knowledge of Ron Jeremy. People do not send me links.
He's an
okay?
actor.
No links. No
He's an
links.
actor.
Yeah.
That's what his
it's
wiki says.
Gary Matt with Peter on 1620 The Zone. You're not concerned about your quarterback
No,
in Chicago?
not at all.
Every single day, there's a
Not at all.
report of he can't complete passes.
I'm not
you got
paying.
a
I'm not.
diva quarterback.
How do I have a diva quarterback?
I mean, come on. Ben Johnson is going to expose your quarterback.
That's good. You know what? If he exposes my quarterback and my quarterback ends up not being very good at football, I'm glad we got it out of the way and we can go and get another one and we can
you
move
think
on from it.
you think you'll tank for Arch Manning?
I would no, God no. Stop it. Stop putting these thoughts into my head. Can I just have a quiet off season? Just don't pay attention to me. Just let me get excited on my own.
No,
just
we're
let me
supposed to overreact to
just
everything.
let me be silent.
Just seems to be a daily thing.
It's
lots of
yeah,
daily
it's-
stats and
You gotta
pictures.
you gotta
and
stop following Dov Kleinman. All right. You gotta
No,
stop following
the
that
Chicago
guy.
media, even his own head coach.
They're
I'm
all
worried
blowing it
about
out
you.
of proportion. I'm not worried about it at all. I look, if
Can you guys play without a quarterback?
we will be fine. I mean, we did it in the 30s, and that's when we won all
Okay.
those championships. I am not overreacting to how my quarterback is playing at training camp. It's a brand new offense. It's
How's
a
his
brand new
nails
system.
look?
Probably great, probably incredible. He's probably very good at painting them.
Okay.
It's not going to matter when he ends up winning the Super Bowl. All right, how his nails look and what color they are.
Do you
He's-
think that he'll win the Super Bowl as a backup on what
Stop
team?
it. Stop it. You know better than to overreact to quarterback play in training
but
camp.
it's
You know,
it's now like every day.
no, it's not. It kind of is, but it's. I'm
Oh,
not.
No,
it's
it's
every
not.
day.
It kinda
Oh,
is.
yeah, it kind of is.
Kind of. No, the videos are out there, but I'm not freaking out about them or anything like that. Or I'm like, oh my god, he's going to play bad this season.
I mean, even Cam Ward, he's not. He looked really good.
Well, he's looking really good because his offensive line can't protect for him for more than 2 seconds. So then
They
he
were-
runs around, he looks
they were
athletic, and they're like, oh my
driving
god,
a
it looks great.
truck on the field with a tackling dummy in it, and Cam Ward, 10, 20, 30, 40 yards was drilling it. I guess he ain't no Caleb Williams.
Your quarterback was stinking it up in 2019 in training camp and was throwing all these interceptions and all of the reports
Yeah,
where
but now my
we
guy
don't
looks
think
good.
he's the guy. Yeah, exactly.
50 yarder to Isaiah Pacheco.
50 yarder to Pacheco.
Yeah, Pacheco looks faster.
You have Pacheco running routes?
Mhm.
Was he
Oh,
in the slot?
Yeah.
He's not running angry.
Hey, we ain't messing around.
Isaiah, my favorite comment is Isaiah
won't-
Pacheco looks like he's running to bite somebody.
That's true. All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2. Evan Bland going to join us a little bit later. We'll get his takeaways from the first week of camp because we're on to week number 2. And hopefully the return of Dane Key at wide receiver, who has been out. He was on the fat kid bike, but he's not fat.
No, he's in great shape.
The lineup brought to you by the rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard.
The fat kid bike?
Yeah. The fat kids are all over on the bike during practice, or they're in street clothes, which there's a
Not
particular
great.
running back. Well, there's 2 running backs. One we haven't even seen in Parker.
Yeah.
And it's not trending right now in the great way. I'd like to see him. I'm high on him. The other one, Quentin Ives, at some point this summer met Wally Pipp. It didn't just happen in the first week and him going down with a hammy. He met Wally Pipp because Quentin Ives was passed probably at some point during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
They're top 2 running backs, and I don't think these 2 are different from the rest of them. Emmett Johnson and then Mekhi Nelson. And then there is nobody that is like them. Mekhi Nelson is their best pure runner on this roster.
So Dana goes out and just I was kind of taken aback because it's been the opposite of what we've heard in terms of the running back situation, where all it's been is Quentin Ives. Quentin Ives is the most talked about player ever that has
No,
never
He
played.
is talked about because
He
they're
is-
talking into fruition.
I know.
He's
but-
not the top 2. He's not close to Nelson.
Well, that's why I was kind of taken aback when all of these, like everybody was writing about the fact that clearly Mekhi Nelson just looks more explosive, that he just looks faster, that he looks better. And then you have Dana just come out and just flat out say, yeah, he's our second running back right now. Like he's doing incredible work.
And I think he became the second running back during the summer.
Really?
Yep.
Now, when was Ives' injury? Do we know when it specifically was? Was it the beginning
first
of
day
camp?
First day of practice.
Okay.
But I think that Mekhi Nelson, so like Emmett is Emmett. Like Emmett,
Yeah.
Emmett to me, just watching the drills they did on Saturday night, it looks like Emmett's breakaway speed has gone up a tick. And across the board, I'm going to get Corey Campbellish with you here. they are a faster football team on both sides of the
great.
ball, which is
great
something
to hear.
that I worried about for the first 2 years. Also, when Nebraska offensively breaks the huddle and all 11 guys come up to the line of scrimmage, they look like a Big Ten team across the board. They are a huge team on offense with their starting 11 to 14 guys. But Emmett breakaway speed looks a little bit better. Emmett is Emmett. Like you probably, there's things that he does that you take for granted. And he's on the clock as well. They paid good money to have Emmett stick around. I mean, Emmett said, "What do you got for me?"
Yeah.
And they said, "We got this for you." So there's a little bit of pressure on Emmett to perform like a number one running back. And I think he will. He's very smooth. But you watch Nelson and the crazy story of people will look at his offer list or how he got here and go, "Where did this guy come from?" Well, stop thinking about that. He is very smooth. You can tell that he's paying a lot of attention to his craft. Like when he was running through the running back drills where they do jump cuts.
Yeah.
Like everything is with a purpose, and he's very explosive. So I think him and Emmett are separators in that room. And then I think with Mosey, so I would put Mosey on the side for right now. Doesn't mean he's not going to play.
Sure.
But as a running back, because I think learning how to play running back is difficult. There will be a role for him, but he is not like Johnson and Nelson, but they will find ways to utilize him. But I would not call him a true running back. Now, the one running back who I really had no high hopes for this year in particular is Connor Booth. Great numbers at Newman. I was like, if Connor Booth is one of your top running backs, what does that say about your running back room? Instead, if he's just a nice complementary piece, take it back.
Really?
He was well coached at Newman. He's a nice running back. He's not the top two, but there's something there that you can work with. And I thought he would be a little bit overwhelmed, but he looked like he fit. Like a lot of the true freshmen,
Yeah.
they have a lot of true freshmen that look like they fit. They don't look out of place. Some physically just not there. Others, oh my God, Jeremiah Jones.
Good Lord.
They don't have a lot of guys that look like, why is this guy at Nebraska?
Well, I'm happy to hear that. Here's why I'm so happy to hear that. Because Emmett Johnson, let's go back to like how he became the number one running back. He was behind Gabe Irvin Jr., Ramir Johnson, and Anthony Grant. And those three guys get hurt. And he ends up getting that opportunity, and and then eventually he develops into this number one running back. I know that a lot of people were like, look, you got Emmett, right? And that's good, and you got to find a number two. But I think there's been a reason this coaching staff has been harping on the fact of like, we got to develop a three and we have to develop a four, because their number one running back at one point was a four, was a guy that wasn't going to get a lot of time. And in the regards to Mosey, I'm very happy this is or at least it seems like he's so talented, we got to get him the ball situation. Like, I'm glad it's not oh my God, we are suffering and we're doing, and we got to put a guy back there. It seemed like it's more of hey, we kind of want to find a way to get a ball in this guy's hands because we think he can make plays. But and Dana said it in his presser, like the running backs are required to be all around. They are required to do every single job. And so
and they'll miss until proven otherwise. They're going to miss Ramir in that case.
Oh yeah.
In pass pro.
And so that's why I don't think I'm necessarily shocked by what you're saying, that all right, it's going to take a while for him to come around, because we even heard it with dating back to, I think even Emmett, like there were some like pass pro concerns and like guys missing their assignments and guys missing their spots, and there's a lot to learn and there's a lot to develop in terms of that. And it's, incredibly important, pass pro as a running back. So I'm not shocked that he's not around yet. I'm just overall happy that it's he looks so good, and we got to make sure that we get him the ball.
They stole him from the wide receiver.
Yeah, when Dikeel said that, I was very happy when he goes, of course you fight for a guy like Isaiah Mosey. Of course you try and get a guy like that. But what I'm concerned the most at this point, though, in this season is the red zone offense. And I think at this point,
Why?
so let's go back. You have your top 3 wide receivers, Ja'Cory Barney, Isaiah Hunter, and Dane Key.
Mhm.
Last season, they had 7 total touchdowns combined. Okay. You go back to this season, this season in the running back room, you don't have your third down back, your short yardage back, your goal line back, and Dante Dowdell from a year before. And you didn't go out, and whether or not it was a good decision or bad decision, we'll find out, but you didn't go and address that after he left in the transfer portal. And so I wouldn't necessarily consider Emmett Johnson this, goal line, short yardage back where he's just going to put his head down and get 2 yards, right, in a very crowded box. So I am concerned in the fact that you really don't have that go get him red zone wide receiver target where you can just throw the ball up and see if they can go make a play. And I am concerned that there's not an established, hey, this is a third down back, this is your short yardage back. And the guy that they said who would be that during the spring currently has a soft tissue injury.
It's crazy to think that those 3 wide receivers you mentioned, Barney, Key, and Hunter, that Hunter played with the best quarterback last year.
And Fernando Mendoza,
Mhm.
yeah, he did.
Oh, wow.
It's insane.
The things you mentioned, you're talking about wide receivers, you're missing out the biggest thing,
What is that?
the quarterback.
Well, yeah,
The quarterback is number 1 in the red zone, then followed by the offensive line, who makes contact before the running back has contact on him.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 biggest things in Nebraska improving in the red zone, in my opinion, is it's clear to see that they have worked, and this may help the pass pro, which I'm still a little bit got to watch that. I think Nebraska offensive line will be good run blockers. Still, the pass pro is a work in progress, but you can help the pass pro by getting the ball out quick. And that is definitely an emphasis. If you watch Saturday night, they get it out quick, 3.5 seconds, boom, decision. They're not setting up these long developing routes.
Sure.
It's more guys, speed, get to your spot so that Dylan can get the ball out. But in the red zone, that's all about decision making, quick, get the ball out, make decisions, pre-snap, in the middle of a snap. I think the quarterback is the number 1 guy when it gets to the red zone. And I would put wide receivers probably 3rd, but I think they address that because they have Cortez Mills, who is a 50-50 demon, and then even more because he's taller is Dane Key.
Well, and also too,
and don't forget about the tight ends.
Well, so I was going to mention that as well. I think that having just tall dudes and just athletic dudes in the tight end room, and I think Janier and Bonner too, but you could be a factor as well.
You also have, let me just throw this one other thing in here, and I'll maybe even put this ahead of Dylan, is you have Dana.
So
yeah,
that, and also too, you talk about the quickness, right? Them getting the ball out really quick. You saw that in the USC game. I think that was the number 1 thing I noticed when you go from Satterfield to Dana, was just how much quicker it seemed like the offense was operating, where it wasn't like hey, we're looking for something downfield. It was a snap. It was boom. He's open. Just put it on him. Does not matter. Just put it on him if he's open. Dylan, very sneakily, so you talked about it in March. You were like, did Dylan really have any signature plays? How many signature plays did he really have that you remember? And you're like, holy crap, that was great. 2 of them that I remember immediately were both in the red zone. Isaiah Nair, that catch against Wisconsin.
Yep.
And then there was that Banks touchdown against Ohio State. And in both those instances, you're within the 10-yard line. He maneuvers the pocket really well. He gets himself moving away from the pressure, and then he pins him, just made some really hard, accurate throws. And to me, those were 2 moments where I'm like, you know what? Not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of guys can evade that, and boom. And so that's why I don't have a ton of, I have angst with Dylan. I'm nervous about Dylan because it's not a guarantee he's going to take the step that he needs to take, even though that things are very much tuned for him to do that. But his ability in the red zone last season, I think, was very sneakily one of his better qualities. One of the better things that he did.
All right, we'll continue the discussion on what happened on Saturday night. And why weren't there more people there? 2,500. It was a great event. Weather was fantastic. See what they can do moving forward and growing that event. Might have been a long day for some. Fan day was packed, and then you had to go to the stadium and watch a practice where you almost had a fight break out and almost lose a wide receiver due to a concussion. Other than that, Good night.
Yeah, I was about to
It's a
say.
good night. It was a
Aside
good
from
night.
that,
Yeah, it
good
almost blew up. We almost screwed everything over. The season was almost done, but other than that, we're good. We're doing great.
A little bit later, Evan Bland of the World Herald will join the show. Lots of thoughts. Plus, we'll talk about one night was good at SummerSlam. The other night, why? Why?
What do you? They both were really.
Okay.
Nobody was stopping me saying, "Hey, we need a little Brock Lesnar in our life."
Whoa. Okay.
Hey, they brought the Sex Pest back last night. Bad look.
oh my God, is
Triple-
that what happened?
Triple H had a great first night. It was trending really well. Yeah, and then Brock Lesnar showed up. Why?
Okay, so
Why?
because I got halfway through the Sunday show, but I couldn't finish it because I had to go to bed. But
Very, very odd.
so I did
that
not
he
know
would-
that. This is the first time learning of this. Jeez Louise.
Wonder how that lawsuit's doing.
Good Lord.
I don't condone any of his actions, but I've always been a massive Brock Lesnar fan. I really have.
Hmm.
We can talk about it.
Well, he's a sex pest.
He's a
There's
piece
no-
of crap.
there's
He
no
is
reason-
he is a piece. Of crap.
He's sullied what was a good weekend for SummerSlam.
That's a bummer. I'm
No.
sad that happened now.
All right, we're back with more of Gary and Matt after this on 1620. Hey, maybe you're in the market for a new roof and you're thinking, okay, who should I contact? There's a lot of options here in Omaha, a lot of local contractors. You'll speak to their reps and you'll collect multiple quotes, and then you'll go, man, I don't know what to do. Who stands apart? That's where Moose Roofing comes into play. They are the MVPs of roofing in Omaha. Why? Because of their top-notch reputation and their efficiency and professionalism and the communication that comes when you deal with Moose Roofing. Their crew, after you schedule an inspection, will come out and they will give you a quote. They will get on your roof. They will get in your attic. They will figure out everything that is wrong and what they can do with their top-notch technology. They'll even sit down with your insurance company, which nobody else can do what Moose Roofing does. And then once you get the A-OK, here we go. They go to work. And once the job is done, the only thing you'll know that's there is the great job. There's nothing littered throughout your yard. And the communication from beginning to end, top-notch. You will never be hidden of something like, oh, I didn't know that. Where'd that expense come from? Nope. Moose Roofing is up front. That's why they've been in business for nearly 30 years, top-notch reputation. They are local. They are a contractor. They're the best. They're here before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. So if you need a brand new roof, place to look, Moose Roofing. Go online today and schedule an inspection at mooseroofing.com. Yesterday, we're on a bad run here. Lonnie Anderson passed away. WKRP? No. Peter? WKRP? In Cincinnati?
Unfortunately, I'm not familiar.
Passed away
I
at the
feel
age
bad.
of 79. To a lot of gentlemen out there, it was probably one of your first posters you put on the wall when she was on WKRP.
Wow.
Or your first crush, WKRP, which is a great show that I wish would be shown more. Like Me TV, I don't think shows WKRP. It's tough to find for those of us that are old and still have cable. But
what is
I don't think I've seen
WKRP?
this. Yeah.
you've never heard of WKRP?
I've never heard
Johnny
of the
Fever.
popular 1980s actor Lonnie Anderson
The
of the
Turkeys!
hit TV series WKRP in Cincinnati has died. What is WKRP in Cincinnati? Is that
That's
like
the name of the show.
what's the base of the show?
It was a fledgling radio station,
Okay.
and she was the receptionist. She was Jennifer Marlowe.
That's an
Now-
interesting premise.
Now,
Yeah, we
But,
should do that, Peter. We should do The Office, but for
hey.
radio.
to me, it's one of the best shows ever.
Really?
Now, when I was a little kid growing up, my dad watched it all the time. And so I watched it, but I didn't appreciate it until I was a little bit older and went back and watched all of it.
Mhm.
Now, some will say that, and Lonnie Anderson was the perfect receptionist, if you will. Bailey, by the way, I would say she was better than Jennifer, but Lonnie Anderson had a really interesting life. She was involved with Burt Reynolds, and then she was on Stroker Ace.
What is Stroker Ace?
Oh,
What is ask Peter too. Peter, what's Stroker Ace? Peter, what is it? Do you know what it is?
I'm not gonna lie.
See,
I'm
this
not
is
sure.
great. This is great that Peter is here. And we
Kenny
have-
Rogers.
Okay. I'm just saying it's great that Peter is here and we have some younger producers who, when I'm stumped and I don't know something, they can also be like they don't know it as well.
Oh, this is a good cast.
In Stroker Ace, yes.
Are you gonna watch an episode?
What was
Peter?
she? Her character was, I think, Pembroke Feeney. I think that was her name on
Yeah,
that.
Pembroke Feeney.
Yeah. But she passed away yesterday at the age of 79, a couple of days before her 80th birthday. Okay, back to WKRP.
Yeah.
You've
Never heard of it. So I am a Me TV guy. I've watched Gilligan's Island and I've watched the Brady
WKRP,
Bunch
greater,
and Happy
Greater.
Days. Greater than Happy Days?
greater than Happy Days.
No way.
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Sorry.
Never heard of it.
yeah.
By the way, I
Sorry, Henry
man.
Winkler, who will later this week be in Omaha.
Henry
What's
Winkler's
Henry
gonna
up
be.
to?
Henry Winkler, he's going to be speaking over at UNO
Is it like
for the Team Jack Foundation.
Oh,
Oh,
very cool.
that's
Great event.
incredible.
It's Thursday night.
I think it's incredibly disappointing that Peter and I's generation, we really don't have those like primetime television TV shows.
Yeah, it's
just-
just a lot of.
It's just a
streaming.
lot of TikTok guys and the Posca guy and the Liver King and
Oh,
Yes.
Livy
God.
Dunn and that's
So-
that's our television now is all of these terrible influencers and the stupid things they do.
So I would. It's very understandable that you did not watch WKRP because it was a long time ago. It was in the
Yeah.
70s. But you've never,
heard of it.
heard of
Never
the
heard of it.
turkey drop episode?
No. Does a turkey get dropped on somebody's head? That happened in Friends.
Oh, this okay. You know who? Okay, so
Why you
Now that you
can't
now that you
can't be
mentioned now that you mentioned the
disappointed
turkey
and that
episode,
shocked.
yeah. Now that you mentioned the turkey episode, that I have had that episode explained to me by Norm. So
McDonald?
that is where I'm like in my head. I'm like, I swear I've heard of this show at some point. It's because Norm told me about the turkey. episode.
Norm, who runs the scoreboard for every college and professional team in this town, he is kind of the version of Les Nessman.
Now I gotta watch this turkey episode.
You are so disappointed in me right now.
It's the mustache, and
The mustache looks
Okay.
good. It's getting better.
so let's back it up.
Okay.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Okay.
You need a moment right now.
Kyle Cunanan.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
we've
Big
recovered.
fan.
We've recovered there.
I heard
Okay.
I heard about he was kicking it really well. Seems like there's a competition between him and Hole. That's what I've been reading.
Yes. I mean, all three kickers look good. I'm a, roll side Tristan Alvano fan, but he's got a fight. they could have options. Kunanen's leg is pretty strong. Hole looks like he's back to where he was at the end of last year because he went through a little bit of an injury. They may need 3 kickers.
Why?
They may need 3 kickers. Why does it seem like Nebraska has a problem with kickers getting injured?
Well,
So having 3
that's a good point.
of your 105 plus 20, where Nebraska's at with 125 on the roster, it kind of makes sense because they do have a history of kickers going down with groin injuries.
I also like having 3 kickers just to have 3 options. And just because this team is not, and I think we're in agreement that they're not talented enough where they can just show up and beat anybody who's standing in front of them. Maybe they could probably do that with Houston Christian and Akron. But in terms of power opponents, they can't just show up and, hey, they're going to roll teams, right? If they don't play well, they're going to be in very close games. And when you said they all made the 35 to 45 yarders, that was music to my ears because that's all they have to do. That's all that's all it just.
Now there wasn't a rush, but
but like get to the 25-yard line. And if we get there, if Nebraska gets there and they can consistently put up points and capitalize on special teams, like that is the difference between them winning and losing. If
go ahead.
If one of these guys ends up missing, I love the fact that they can just be like, all right, well, we know John Hole can make field goals in the Big Ten level. We can put him out there. All right, Hole's not making it. We know Kunan and we can put him out there.
Good point. That goes back to something I said earlier. They're in a better spot not to have to stick with guys.
Yes.
They have constructed the roster into options, like especially in the defensive backfield. And we'll get into this maybe when Evan Bland joins us in about an hour, because I think, well, I'll save it for our discussion. There are guys that I'm putting the all points bulletin out for them. Con, Rhett, where you at? Jeremiah Charles, where you at?
Yeah.
All right, where you at?
Yeah.
And you know what? The great thing is you don't have to rely on them. 2 of those guys are portal guys. You know what? Keep the train moving.
Yeah.
They have options of guys that are not performing that they can move on to the next guy. And in the first 2 years, the way they constructed the roster was just not in that possibility.
Mm-mm.
So they have created competition. But I think if I don't hear a Red or a Con this week, I'm like thinking, that shows me that the young guys, and they've got a plethora of defensive backs, are on the come, and there's going to be, you're getting passed by. And that's great. That's another step for Nebraska. All right, John writes into the Equitable Bank inbox. Neither of these youngsters have heard of WKRP in Cincinnati. Thank you, John, for feeling my pain. And
Apologies.
now, Stroker Ace, good Lord, no wonder our country is in the shape it is.
I'll add it to the list.
I would not blame either one of you on what we're currently going through in the country. I don't think you guys have that kind of power.
No, we don't. Not really. I mean, we're kind of just waiting back.
Every day we wake up and do our best.
It seems like you have to be, in order to be in power, you have to be about 75 years old. So Peter and I have a very, very long time to wait until we can make any of the power decisions.
You've never had a conversation with somebody where God is my witness. I thought turkeys could fly.
No.
Never.
Is that a WKRP in Cincinnati?
Well, now it's
reference?
unlocked in my brain that I have had that.
Please tell me that you will watch this today.
Turkeys.
I will watch, just like I watched Cheers
I wonder if it's on.
when that guy, forgot his name. Sorry, he passed away. I watched Cheers.
George Wendt.
Yes, when he passed away.
Norm.
Yes, I watched.
He's a Chicago Bears super
I know.
fan.
I just don't remember the name off the top of my head. I meet a ton of people, and I'm terrible with names. I will watch WKRP in Cincinnati.
No, you don't have to watch the whole thing. Just watch the turkey episode.
The turkey episode.
Yes.
Is it really that funny? Is it really like the funniest?
It is one of the funnier. That whole show was great.
She is a beautiful woman, Lonnie Anderson. Seriously. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Just looking at pictures.
Very interesting life.
There's a picture of her with Burt Reynolds, and she looks absolutely dashing.
They were the couple until they weren't.
I was watching Match Game on MeTV. You know, the old school game back in the 70s.
Match Game, but not WKRP.
Well, that channel is always on.
You're like, you know what? I've worked at a couple of radio stations. Who is my Herb Tarlick?
No, I haven't. My dad is just trying to recapture his glory days, so he puts MeTV on a lot and watches all those old shows to remember how
this is
used
an
to
old
be.
show. Dr. Johnny Fever.
And this has never come on. But I was going to say, I was watching Match Game, and I don't know her name, but they had a couple of these beautiful, just 1980s women that were just on this Match Game show. I mean, it was just the hair back in the day was just absolutely different. I feel like we should be doing our hair like we were doing it in the 80s. The bangs? You don't miss the bangs? You don't like the bangs and the poofy bob and anything like that?
I would take my hair back in the 80s because I had more.
That's what I'm gonna say 10 years from now. I'm losing it, man. I am losing my hair. And I'm growing it out, but it's going. There's a reason why the hat is always on. It is not smooth sailing at all right now.
John says wild turkeys do actually fly, by the way. Yes. First time I ever went turkey hunting. I did not know that they were that fast. And all of a sudden they were, yeah. And they do fly. They jump up into the tree.
I've never been turkey hunting.
Oh, it was, thank you.
Attaboy, Peter.
It was quite exhilarating.
You don't have to hide in a bush for turkey hunting, right? Or do you have to hide in a bush? Or do you kind of run around?
We did not.
Okay.
We kind of walked up on them. Or they actually, because of a turkey call, they walked up on us.
Do you have a turkey call on you?
I do not.
Can you do it right now?
No, I do not have a turkey call.
You can't do it with your
No.
No,
I would
can't
not
do
do
that?
it justice. This was probably about 20 years ago. Somebody who is a outdoorsman, he had a great turkey call.
What's that?
So he was able to call in the turkeys, and we did okay. But I didn't, once they got some speed now, and they do fly. Like the wild turkeys do fly.
I have never. Do they act like
Mhm.
but do they stay up there, or do they just kind of jump up and then they come down? I've never seen a wild turkey in my life.
They were in the trees.
Do we have what's that call that Greg Wagner does on the ads during our breaks? What's it called, Peter? The butt call or the brunt call?
It's so abrupt, and I always laugh at it, but then I'm too busy laughing at it to actually pay attention to what the
It sounds like a
call's for.
fart.
It is a fart. It's a.
There's no way that it's an actual fart.
What's it called? A duck dart? I think it's a duck dart.
Well,
A
maybe
duck
I'll
dart.
play it in this next stop set so we can.
Yeah, I would love to hear.
have a
People
good
think
look.
farts are funny.
Farts are funny. Farts are so funny. That and people falling down. I will never not laugh. Like you never see those videos of just people just absolutely face planting. Like the guy from the Savannah Bananas, he did the
Yes.
backflip and he just face planted. That's so funny to me. I'm a little kid. I love it when people fall.
That was a hilarious video.
Like you guys were getting mad at me
It-
when Red Panda went down, and I kept watching the video. I couldn't stop laughing because it's
Now I
just
wouldn't
funny.
laugh
You
at
are
Red Panda.
heartless.
I wouldn't laugh at Red Panda. National
He's
treasure.
heartless.
I wasn't laughing at Red Panda. I was laughing at somebody falling down from a unicycle.
All right.
I was America's
One of the better moments we've had.
I was America's Funniest Home Videos kid. Those were the days, man. You just see before people showed you how stupid they were on Twitter, you would watch America's Funniest Home Videos and people would submit it. That was the time. That was the
Yeah.
life.
All right, we'll step aside. We'll come back. We'll try and regroup here. Test the theory. Can turkeys fly? Yes, they can.
I'll shave my mustache.
You're 42 minutes late for
I'm not
people
gonna
that are tuning in.
Maybe I'll just keep it now to annoy you.
Well, no, keep it. I mean, do you Magnum PI?
No.
Okay. It's Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. I just watched that episode. Then you'll be
This-
hooked.
So were they just dropping turkeys out of helicopters
So,
on top of people?
It was supposed to be frozen turkeys, and they did live turkeys.
Oh, so they were
Yes.
dropping live. Oh, that's funny. Okay, that's a good episode. I don't know, man. We got gypped. We got The Big Bang Theory and New Girl. That was our
Hey, New Girl's fantastic.
New Girl is fine. New Girl isn't like anything to write home about, or
There's
it's
there's
not
a
this
few duds
mass-
here and there, but it's a good show.
I tried watching it. I wasn't a big fan. I like the actors. The actors in it are great, but everybody freaks out about New Girl like it's Friends. It's not that great. We other than that, what do we get? Big Bang Theory was so overrated.
I was never into Big Bang Theory.
Bazinga, were you ever into that? Jerry?
Yes, I like Big Bang Theory. I'm one of the rare people out there. I understand the laugh track was a little bit.
Yeah.
But
It's still-
I liked it. It's on. It's look. I mean, it was on for what 11,
A while.
10, 10
Yeah.
11 seasons.
They're
Now
still
there's a
doing
million
reruns.
spin-offs.
Well, yeah, the Young Sheldon, and then is there another one?
There's
too? Did
another
Penny
one. I
get, a
forgot. I don't know who.
get her own show? Now they're doing spin-off of Rick and Morty. That's the only other show that I watch with President Carter. There's too many spin-offs.
That seems
You know.
unnecessary.
Why
many
are there too
remakes.
many spin-offs?
Because it's just come up with something new. Just like be creative, be original, right? All we're doing is like somebody comes up with one good idea and then you run with that good idea for like way too long. And then you
We like
start adding
nostalgia.
things to it.
We like nostalgia.
I mean, Star Wars, look at what Star Wars has turned into. It's just everybody keeps rewriting the book and adding more movies and doing stupid stuff and being like, oh, it's canon. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Oh, it's new rules.
Finish this hour as the youngins figure out when television was great. You will notice you were not there Saturday night, were you? Were
I
you
was
still
not.
coming? You were
No,
still in
I was
Chicago?
still in Chicago.
There is a new addition at Memorial Stadium that is not the turf, the red end zones, or other things. There is on the goalpost padding, Herbie Husker.
What did Brandon Vogel
Interesting.
say? When in doubt, slap a Herbie on it.
It's the good-looking Herbie. The god-awful Herbie still exists. The other thing about Saturday night that hadn't to do with anything on the field is people are asking, and I'm asking the same question: why does piss water taste or cost $1 more than Bud Light,
Michelob Ultra?
Mick Ultra?
That is because it's kind of the trendy drink. It's like the skinny beer is what I call it. A lot of people
They
think
got neutral.
I know, but
Drink a seltzer.
a lot of people think because it's 95 calories that they're not adding too much weight when they drink a Michelob Ultra.
So we're charging more to be skinnier?
I think that people
Is that how that works?
I don't think you can say that you
How much
love
does that shot cost?
I don't think you can say that you love beer and be a Michelob guy. You know,
I like beer,
like, oh, I love beer. I love it. What's your favorite beer?
but now it's the,
Michelob.
now it's the
Immediate-
combo beer.
No, immediately. I'm like, hell, you don't like beer.
So the 16-ounce Mick Ultra is 12.
okay.
The rest, like Busch Light, Bud Light, all of that was 11. But why? So
Why is
Mick
the
Ultra,
Mick the
Mick Ultra is
premium?
$1 more.
I think it's a trendy, sexy drink. I think just more people are willing. It might be more popular. I think just honestly, I see way more people drinking Michelob Ultras at bars than I do Bud Lights. Even though I do love a Bud Light, I would totally take a Bud Light over a Michelob Ultra. But at the same time,
You starting to restore your man card? Thank you.
no, I would no. Well, I like Miller Lite though. That's my
fine.
preferred drink. But
There
at
you
the
go.
same time,
You can drink Busch Light.
I've never had a Runza before and thought, do you know what I need? Do you know what would go great with this? Do you know what would really wash this down? A Michelob. I've never thought that thought has never
So-
occurred to me.
So I'm guessing that people saw that they had a combo deal. They only had what, 5, 6, maybe 7 concession stands that were open. I mean, they didn't
Mhm.
need. Again, man,
Was it too expensive?
no. I mean, was it $10 to get in, and then you could sit in the club level for 30? I took more away Saturday night than I did the year before Just thought there'd be more because it was a beautiful night. I mean, there were only 2,500 people, but I guess that it has been shared that they were selling a combo. So previously, a previous life being in the food and beverage business with a professional sports franchise. And that's what Memorial Stadium is. Boys and girls, the days of kids hawking stuff up in the stands and, the hot dog vendor from Western Nebraska wrapping up your change in the foil and throwing it back to you. Those days are over. It's a professional sports venue, but the beer prices are very similar to what you get here in Omaha. But they did something that is a common thing in the food and beverage business. Is they're going to give you a combo deal because they don't think that you're going to do the math, and you look at it and you're tricked to go, I'm getting a great deal. So you get 2 Red Dogs, which they should just call them Red Dyes, but you got 2 Red Dogs and a Bud Light for
19.
Okay, and then they do a Runza and a Mick Ultra
for 19.
Okay, so the Runza and the Mick Ultra, there is no savings.
Yeah.
The hot dog deal, I think you save 50 cents, but it's a food and beverage trick because you're going to look at it and go, oh, what a great deal, because I get 2 items for that price and not sitting there and going, wait a minute.
No,
I don't need the combo meal. I can order them separate. It's going to be the same price.
Well,
so that's a common thing. That's probably an Aramark thing that they do all over the place. So I saw that was a discussion. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, no.
We all do it in this business.
Well, the thing though is, I think once you enter in a stadium, you are kind of like, I know that I'm not getting a good deal. Like, you're getting ripped off no matter where you're at. But that's the cost of having those things in that area.
You think you're getting ripped off?
$12 for a beer? Yeah, that is way too much for a beer. But you understand that it's location, and then you kind of just like, all right, this is just kind of how it is. Like,
what do you
just
think
live with
that?
that?
So I think we're vibing here. Of
to me,
you go to a sports venue now.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not thinking I'm getting a $5 beer.
No.
Go to an NFL game. So what do you think the price should be then?
Oh, well, I think the most I would ever willingly pay for a beer at a bar is probably like $6 or $7.
Okay.
Like that, I think $5 to $5, $4. That's
but
like
when
the
you
perfect
walk in a
price.
stadium and
I know.
nowadays,
I
you
know.
just assume.
I'm aware. I'm aware that I'm paying 11 to 12, and I know that if I want a Mango Cart or a Kona Big Wave or like one of those premium beers on draft, I'm probably paying 14. You kind of relinquish that, but which is why what I'm getting to is like the whole like, oh my god, a combo deal. Like, I'm not looking for like deals or combo deals or discounts or anything like that. Like, I know I'm surrendering. I'm surrendering to the fact that
I think it's a great option because you want a hot dog and a beer. They give you 2 hot dogs and a beer. No, I think it's a smart play.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trick in that business of it's basically the same price because they don't think you're going to stand in line and do the math. You're just going to look at the combo, and so it's a mind thing. I also think. And with the new food vendor, now that's become a professional sports venue, I think food went up $1.
Okay,
everything kind of went up.
I think everything went up $1.
What did the cardboard Valentino's pizzas used to cost? Was that $5 or $6?
Way back in the day, I think way back in the day were like $3, and then what were they, 5 most recently, maybe 6.
See, at least it's a
$6.50.
At least it's a 16-ounce beer that you're paying 12. If it was a 12-ounce beer and you're paying $1 an ounce, I'd lose it. Like, a lot of people make fun of Wrigley because it's like $20 a beer, but the beers are 24 ounces, so you are kind of getting 2 12-ounce beers for $10, which is still an absolutely terrible deal.
And all I saw were 16 ounces. I don't know if the 24-ounce beer is an option. I just did not see it on Saturday night.
For me, it's like I've never really thought of like football being like I think football is a drinking sport in the pregame, in the tailgate. That's where you go and you get liquored up. I've never thought of, oh man, I can't wait to be at the football game and grab a beer, or grab a boot. Like, it's just, I don't have that like with baseball. As soon as I sit down, I want a beer. Like, I want to drink. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like I don't have that with football. I'm not looking to get like drink. I'm not dying to drink within a game. I'm going to have one. It's cool to have. It's nice to have the option.
Yeah, it's definitely to have the option. Just we'll be curious in the first year of how much Nebraska makes.
I think they'll make a lot of money, but I think there are a lot of people who think, oh my God, they're leaving so much on the table. I don't know if it's going to be.
Where would they leave the money?
Well,
I think if they net
the-
net maybe $1 million, you would say, oh, that's great.
I think
year.
that'd be great. No, I'm saying,
which I do think is a possibility.
I think a lot before this happened, before you could sell beer at Memorial Stadium, people were always like, oh my God, they're leaving so much money on the table, not selling beer at Memorial Stadium. I don't think it's as much as people think, because I don't relate football to being like, man, I want to drink 4 beers at the game. Like, I really don't.
Well,
Like,
you
I
do the
like,
math. I mean, you
yeah.
got 90,000 people. I mean, they're gonna make money. I mean,
they're
you
gonna make
don't you don't add alcohol not to make money. I just like the first year, because I don't know. I haven't seen any numbers from PBA, but again, I think this is a non-story. Like the Bill Moose of that person's going to chuck it from the third row, and oh my God, we can't. I mean,
Yeah.
what were Bill Moose and T.O. doing on Saturday night? Pretty calm crowd. No, I didn't see anybody rush the field. They were upset,
How big of an arm do you have to have if you're going to chuck a beer from the stands onto the field? I mean, it's not like, okay, some of the seats might be pretty close to the field, but if you're in like the club levels, there's no way that you're going to be able to throw a beer on the football field from there. And like, if you're on the 50-yard line, you're really going to have to chuck it. Like, you might get recruited after throwing a beer on the football field in some aspects.
All right, Evan Bland coming up in the next hour on 1620 The Zone. All right, Evan Bland will join us in about 25, 30 minutes. His thoughts on what he saw on Saturday night and what we want to hear and see in week number 2. I'd like some D in week number 2.
Some defense?
Defense or development?
Oh, you need both. I mean, this is the ultimate, like, what really comes down to this season more than anything is how many guys like actually get better and how many guys actually take the steps that I think we've believed that they can take. Because make no bones about it, Matt Rule was hired because he was a player development guy,
program builder.
Like that was his deal. His MO was, I'm going to take smaller, talented guys, or not as talented guys that he did in Temple and he did in Baylor, and I take these guys who don't have all the star ratings, who don't maybe have all of these people fawning over them, and I just turn them into really good football players. And like now, I guess the idea or theory of Matt Rule working at Nebraska has always been, wow, he could develop those types of players at those smaller schools. Imagine what he can do with like the greater amount of talent that he's going to be able to acquire because he's got that N on his patch. Like, it's one of those things where you talked about the whole like, oh, this is going to break this fan base if this team doesn't pop. Like, if this team doesn't pop, it means because the one thing that you thought that you hired Matt Rule to do, he wasn't able to do, and that's develop guys. That's really where it all will stem from. Is he actually the coach that you hired him to be? That's why this season's so big. Because it's just everything really has been. The last 2 years have just been the ultimate build up to this. They've just been building up to this. This has been, and like how they've built the roster in a way, how they've acquired young talent, the type of talent they've acquired, where they've specifically where and what position groups they've acquired that talent, going all in on the secondary, going all in on the offensive line. It's like this will be, if Matt Rule really is the guy that Trev Alberts thought he was when he brought him to Nebraska, this is going to be the year you figure it out.
I felt that way. And why I say if people are, and I said this right away at the beginning of the show, because he's one of us. He gets us.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of get him. I was sitting around somebody on Saturday night and we were talking about Rule, and they had one of their kids was in line and got Rule's autograph. And so he's talking about Rule, and he'd met him, I don't know, out in Lincoln or whatever. He was out visiting his wife's shop at the mall. And he was like, man, he goes, I want him to win so bad because he's Nebraskan. And I'm like, when? And so I said to this guy, I said, when's the last time? And he looked like an older fan. I said, when's the last time you said that about a coach, where you felt like the coach was connected to the fan base, that actually wanted to be here and enjoyed being the head coach at Nebraska? Because it's not an easy job. I mean, everybody knows who you are. There's an immense amount of pressure, but that's why you take the job and are paid highly, is because being the head coach at Nebraska, you're the most recognizable and you have the most powerful job in the state. So some people are drawn to that. They take it. But the last time that you were attached to a coach where you thought they feel the same pain that I do, and he was like, Coach, and I said, Solich? And he said, yes. And I said, yes. And I go, now we're going back 20 plus years to find the last head coach where you felt a connection. And that's why people are connected to him. He's connected to us. And if this doesn't pop, you're just broken. I'm not going to say, well, if he can't do it, no one can, because there'll be somebody else. But in this particular turn of the vibe and the sense of urgency, and it's go time. I love that Indiana and Illinois are good and they're getting better. And I love, because I think the Big Ten needs somebody to break through that is not Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, or Michigan. They need a new person that is in the top echelon, because that drives everybody else. You don't want to be passed by. And it's all gas, no brakes. If you're Nebraska, you don't want to be passed by. Be in recruiting, whether you're building your program and staying in that upper echelon. So seeing other schools do it forces you can't have cement shoes. And I think that has really hit Rule in the last year, that it's go time, man. And the way you construct your roster, construct your staff, the way you recruit, the way you go about doing things, and then you got to win some football games. But you're in you're in a time now where you could get passed by quickly. I
Sure.
mean, look at USC. I think
Well-
USC's probably think the same thing. We should be in that upper echelon, but why is Indiana and Illinois making a play for it? How come we're not? Look at our recruiting class.
I think Iowa and Minnesota are probably asking themselves the same questions.
But I don't think they have the resources or the ability to go where Nebraska is.
Or USC. Yeah, I think I think you're spot on there in terms of that. But like, I think back to your point about this fan base would be broken if this didn't work out. It just seems like from the minute Matt Rule has gotten here, it just has run like a professional program. Like you have an idea of how a college football program should be run. It should be run with high standards and culture and eyes on development and building up the offensive line and investing in the defensive line. And then you hear how he goes about we're going to adjust to our conference, right? We are in the Big Ten. We know that we have to play Big Ten football. It's not only that he says the right things, but then his players also say the right things. And the players communicate, hey, it's those player interviews are always so interesting to me because to me, it's a confirmation that it's not just Matt Rule sitting up on the podium and saying it to us. It's being also said in the locker room. It's not as if he gets up to the podium and he acts one way and then he gets to the locker room and he acts a completely different way. When those players they talk about the same things that he's talking about and their relationships with him, it's a confirmation to me that, oh no, when the doors are closed, there actually is the standard there. The culture is there. And so it's like you follow the sport and you're a fan of football and you understand what teams are successful, what teams are not successful. Nebraska runs like a program that should be successful. And so if they're not, you're thinking, then what the hell are they supposed to do? Like what is supposed to be different? Like at this point, outside of Jeff Sims, could you really have look how much of Matt Rule can you really look at the program and be like, maybe they should do this or they should do
Marcus
that?
Satterfield is the OC.
Yeah.
Because I think having Satterfield as the OC cuts you off from having other people that would have been on your staff, that would have been comfortable working with him.
That would have been better.
Well, maybe not better, but I'm talking about working with him. If you were proposed as a co-OC, if you're Jake Peetz, if you're Jake Peetz.
Yeah.
You know? So what did that do in your first year of putting a staff together?
It limited you.
Because if you had a really good OC, I don't think people would hesitate and go, "Oh yeah, I want to work with him."
I think also too,
you had to clear him out before the guy that you wanted to be a co-OC would come in. When Dana was here, Nebraska wanted him, and Dana was here after Houston, Nebraska wanted him. I mean, that was clear.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't have a defined role, but Dana kind of pulled back the curtain the other day that really we already knew that they pursued him, and Dana wanted some time off. He wanted to travel. He wanted just to take a deep breath after getting fired. And he kind of said February, and Rule was like, but I think it worked out for Dana to just take a step back. But I wonder if they would have cleared the deck after year one, if Dana would have said, I'm good, here we are. Because he doesn't come here in November if you say you're co-OC. Think about this for a moment. Nebraska didn't fire their OC. They removed him from that position, kept him on staff, and brought in a new guy in the last month of the season. So I would say that would be on the list of the poor evaluation, thinking we could fix.
And I think, and you're told, and the special teams coordinator too, was a mistake. But I think what was so good about this offseason is that those mistakes were not only just rectified, but they were rectified by people who hold an incredible amount of merit, who have done it over and over and over again, to the point where I think that, before they hired Eckler and before they officially hired Dana Holgorsen, you could say, man, like some of these hires that they made on the staff definitely could hold them back to having future success. But these next hires that he had, at least the coordinators, have been good to the point where it's almost redirected course. Like you've retracked to the point where, okay, I don't think hiring Satterfield or hiring Foley has completely wrecked what you're going to do in year three. And so I think there's there's a lot of credit to be given to that. But I also think too, like, it's insane how a guy grew up in the Northeast who's like a New York dude has just come in 3 years. People are calling him a Nebraskan. Like, I think it's incredible just self-awareness from Rule to just understand like what the program and what the fan base needed desperately, because it's incredible that you ask that question to somebody and you go, yeah, when was the last time you really felt connected to a coach, that you felt that way about a coach being a Nebraskan, when the last coach that you literally had was a Nebraskan?
But you also had an athletic director who I think prepared Rule for this job.
Yeah.
And during the course, he answered Rule's questions. Rule also did a great thing of not only talking to guys that used to work here, but also former players, okay, about what has ailed Nebraska, what does it take. But he had an athletic director who didn't just hire him and walk away and say, now it's your job.
Yeah.
I think Trev kind of, because I bet Rule picked Trev's brain on why didn't it work with Scott? Why is there such a odd vibe with Scott? And Trev probably laid it out and said, this is where we had some missteps along the way. And Rule's a professional coach and said, I got you. Okay. And then also probably at the end of the day, and whether he can coach or not, he's 13-12 in Nebraska. You know, he's got to win a game against a ranked team this year. He's 2-22 in his lifetime against top 25 teams. So you need a couple of those. Yeah. You need a couple of those check marks this year. I think he's just a good dude. I think he's a good person. You know, I think that goes a long way to somebody in that role. They're just a good dude. He likes being here. I got to win.
I think so too. Like, the last three coaches, you can make the argument with Pelini, Riley, and Frost. It was a pretty clear indication as to why they didn't connect with the fan base, right? Like, I think Pelini, just Bo was kind of Bo, and Bo said what he wanted to say, and he said what he believed, and that rubbed people the wrong way. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think Mike Riley had the unfortunate situation of, like, immediately when he was hired, people were like, who? You know, and I think people questioned his validity. And I just don't think the fan base ever really like latched on to, oh, Mike Riley's going to be the coach for Nebraska for a very long time. And then I think, with Scott Frost, it was just it just seemed like he didn't want it. It's really what was made clear. I mean, we've talked about, I still can't get over that in one of his first pressers with the media, he went and he said, oh, my family's off limits. Like that is the ultimate indication of, like, oh, I don't want to be connected, you know, like, I want to be disconnected from this thing. I just want to go and coach football. And frankly, this is a fan base that you just can't do that with. Like, this team and this program means so much to people, and they care about it so much that you also have to be connected to them. You can't just go and coach.
Well, I'm glad he also has a sense of urgency. I hope that he was livid after Saturday night with his defense. I hope that he was not happy with technique. It was sloppy. No excuses. I think if he is, that shows me that it's go time, but also they have a standard. Because as I was talking with Damon, it was a tough night for defense, the way the whole thing is set up, but they were not as crisp as I thought they were going to be, or you've heard in the first couple of days of practice that they were. But it's week one. You got 3. That's why I said, man, it's going to be a long 3 weeks. Long 3 weeks. Let me know a couple of other starters. All right, let's figure out the tackle spot. You may start the year with Gatula and Prohaska starting as your tackles. One of them is going to happen. The other one, put them in bubble wrap and let's hope for 12.
I think, though, the offensive line, it's the first time where I'm actually like, man, they could take an injury and they might be okay. Like, that is a massive step for where they were a couple of years ago. It really is. Because, the last 3 years are like, man, I feel like last year you were pretty comfortable with the 5 they had. You were just like, man, if they get hurt, and they did, and then thank God Gatula played pretty well.
Yeah, Gatula is going to be one of your starting tackles. I know Tyler Kanak is out there and everybody likes him and he's got a lot of energy. He's had 34 snaps in his career. Gunnar Gatula is back.
So Pritchett, there was talk if he was at the second string tackle in some of these. Was that happening?
Then he was first string.
Okay.
It's the first week. They got to light a little fire under his ass.
I like it.
You know, the thing, it's not physical. Like, he's in good shape. Their offensive line, like Lutovsky is cock diesel, but their offensive linemen all kind of look the same. They look like Big Ten offensive linemen. I think with Pritchett, he just needs the smarts thing, all right, to understand playing offensive line in this system. It's not a physical thing. It's not a want-to thing. It's just, can I trust you that when we call a play, you're going to do the right protection?
Yeah.
I think that's what's limiting him, but it's a good sign that he's in a battle. Yeah, it would suck. You're paying him a lot of money and he doesn't go out for the opening series. It's the first week. Saturday night was different. He was running with the ones, and I expect him to be with the ones, but it's not bad. Not bad that he's being tested, but Gunnar Gatula is going to be the starting tackle at one of those tackle spots.
I think a team that has as much talent as this one does, all I want is battles. I want everybody to be battling. I want everybody to, because that's how you develop. Yeah, just people in general. This isn't just a sport thing. Just people in general develop better when they have competition, when they have something they're chasing.
All right, Evan Bland still to come in this hour on Gary and Matt, 1620 The Zone. Did you guys see pictures of Aaron Donald at Rams camp yesterday?
No, I didn't, but I guarantee you it probably looks incredible.
Oh, hello. I mean, he could have walked from the parking lot to go watch practice, and they could have given him some pads. He is. Hello.
He probably, honestly, so I saw the Jared Verse workout that he had in the offseason. First off, insanity that he literally broke one of the best defensive ends in the NFL right now. And then secondly, he's still like, I legitimately believe he could put on a set of pads right now and be a Pro Bowler. I don't know if he could go out and be like the best defensive tackle in the NFL like he was, but there is no doubt in my mind he could go out there and get you 9.5, 10 sacks.
Did you guys see the video that was put out by the Tennessee social media team yesterday?
No.
Okay, so
What do we got?
they a passionate fan base.
Yeah.
This shows us that college football is so back, baby. So they put out a play of an interception, but they blurred out the quarterback who threw the interception. So just like trying to figure out the Epstein files, people in Tennessee are trying to figure out who that quarterback was. It is their main guy, is a backup guy. Why would you put out a video where you blur the quarterback out? Was there not any other really cool defensive play to be had? But with that said, can you imagine if that was done here? That's why we love college football in Knoxville or Lincoln.
But you know this fan base, they would be able to find out quickly. Even through the blur, I think you could totally tell if it's Dylan or Jalen or TJ Lateef or Marcos Davila. I don't think there is any doubt. Just these fans, everybody knows how everybody is built. And it's just one of the. Now, I do have a problem. I do have one issue.
Shock. Complaining about everything.
What is the point with posting the interceptions on the social media and training camp, everything like that? Because I don't think it's beneficial.
This is
for
a Bears
anybody.
thing.
I don't. Yeah, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. It's a Bears thing because it's not good or bad, right? Like you go ahead.
Brother. I was at the 2017 Northern Illinois game. I don't know where you're going here.
It's one of those things where I can't get excited that the cornerback picked off, had an interception because he picked off my quarterback. So I could celebrate. I can be like, oh my God, Jaquan Brisker looks good, or Jalen Johnson looks good, or look at Malcolm Hartzog. But I'm immediately thinking, oh my God, my quarterback might be bad. My quarterback might be I don't think and then the teams are posting it. Because if it's your job, if you're a writer,
Why don't you just DM the Bears that you're upset that they're throwing their
I'm
own
not
quarterback
upset.
under
You
the
are
bus?
feeding this. You are feeding this. I am not worried. I am not upset. I don't think anything that he does. I'm not reading any of the practice reports. I'm not reading anything like that.
What if he what he was? Everybody thought he'd be coming out of USC. Will you be
good?
sad?
Really good?
No,
great. The number 1 overall pick, generational.
Struggling.
Nobody thought he would be struggling like this.
Like he
when
has
it came
struggled
out of
so much in training camp, right? Well,
He's
that's what
learning
the power
a new
of Ben
offense.
Johnson.
You watch quarterback, all right?
Quarterback is quarterback. They can play quarterback.
You saw the series, and Kirk
quarterbacks can play in any system.
That's not true. You saw Kirk Cousins.
Adrian Martinez played in the Nebraska system with the K-State. Will Howard, K-State, Ohio State.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield played in the Carolina system. We saw how that went for him, and now he's like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Not every system is conducive to the quarterback.
Well, it might have been what was going on in Carolina. Okay.
And there was someone that we know who was there while that was going on. What I'm saying,
it happens.
There is zero benefit. I'm waiting for week 1, man. Just wake me up for Monday in Soldier Field against the Minnesota Vikings. That's when I'll really start caring about what interceptions are being thrown.
How wild was it that J.J. McCarthy was 27-1 as the quarterback at Michigan? Won a national championship.
I think it was always impressive how good of a winner he is.
And a rookie, he rolls into Chicago and
stop.
He's like, I'm the new Aaron Rodgers?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not remotely.
You'll be okay if J.J. McCarthy is the better
quarterback.
No,
I'm not. I'm not going to be. What type of question is that? Of course I'm not going to be okay. Why would I'm going to be terrible if any of the quarterbacks that were drafted.
Case Keenum, your backup?
No. We have Tyson Bagent.
Do you want Case Keenum?
No, I don't. Tyson Bagent's a pretty good backup. He had a decent start against New Orleans. There were people who were literally calling for Tyson Bagent
So was
to
that
take
guy
over.
Caleb Haney.
Why do you remember Caleb Haney out of all
Who
the
doesn't
quarterbacks?
remember?
Well, a lot of people, Bears fans, don't remember Caleb Haney. We got into an argument about the fact of who was the third quarterback who came out after McCown got hurt in the NFC Championship game. By the way, I don't think Caleb Haney ever started a game after that or anything
he
like
did not.
that. He was like, do you remember Tyler Brate?
Yeah.
Like he was Tennessee quarterback.
Yeah, we
like,
had him in Kansas City.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
He was. So when Trubisky was struggling, it was the Tyler Brate train. People were like, we got to give this guy a shot. And apparently he was so bad in practice that they didn't even want to touch with it.
We will talk a little bit about quarterbacks, not necessarily Dylan, but the quarterbacks behind him. Among other things, when Evan Bland stops by the show with his thoughts on what he saw on Saturday night and what he would like to hear in week 2 of camp. As football season is here. No more Sundays without football, boys.
Incredible.
Ooh, baby.
Countdown is on. What are we, 24 days away?
Or
Nope. That was
We're-
nice. That
we're-
last, hey, Peter, wasn't that nice last week? We could just do regular math.
well,
Just say 24
no
days.
more
and people are
boy
like,
math.
"Oh,
no,
yeah."
no. We're 14 days away from being 10 days away.
We're exactly 1 month from Cowboys Eagles.
Ooh,
Good call. I'm not excited
With-
about that game at
with
all.
Micah Parsons in uniform or in street clothes?
With Micah Parsons sharing a suite with Jerry Jones.
With Micah
Oh,
Parsons,
after the whole Jay-Z thing, I don't think that's going to
definitely
happen.
not.
I think Micah Parsons will have a $43 million deal.
All right, Evan Bland coming up next. All right, on a Monday morning, the 4th of August, we welcome in our good friend for the Omaha World Herald, Evan Bland, who is a week into camp, and he joins us now with some thoughts. Good morning.
Morning, guys.
Hey, what were your what was your general takeaway from Saturday night under the lights?
It was fun. I mean, it was, to me, the first thing that came to mind was, man, it's been a while since we've seen these guys in full pads and doing things, right? Like, we didn't see it all really in the spring. Certainly not in the spring game, because there wasn't one. And first time in pads, like, it was, I thought it was exciting. I know, you only get 9 padded chances before that first game. Matt Rule said Saturday there's no time to waste, and it felt like a team that was really trying to take advantage of its opportunities. A lot of live sessions. You can kind of get into some of the positional details, but I thought just overall, I mean, it looked like a team that was high energy, that was locked in, that I think physically looked as good as the Nebraska teams looked in a while. And obviously we'll see how that translates into game action here in a few weeks, but it looked like a group that was locked in and knew what it wanted to do. This was a year 3 operation. They kind of move in and out of the drills pretty seamlessly. A lot of competitiveness. I think that's the other thing. You see it in the 11-on-11 work, the 7-on-7 stuff, even just some of the individual drills. Like, you can just tell, like, guys are really going at it. It didn't strike me as sort of a going through the motions sort of afternoon or evening. It was one where these guys, every time out, like, you take it personally, like you want to beat the other guy, and it really felt like you saw that through a lot of the drills and activities that went on.
The vibe that I've been getting, Evan, from Coach Rule is, obviously he's confident that he's got a very talented team, and it's very clear that he trusts the process in which they've built this program. But and I sense this a little bit at Big Ten Media Days, there still seems like there's a little bit of a desperation, though, of like, hey, this team's got to be confident, and this team has to be, they got to play better, and I see it in them, and they have to see it in themselves. What's your read on kind of maybe 2 slightly different positions he seems to take in terms of how he feels about the season?
Well, I think one thing Matt Rule's good at, and he does often, is he tries to speak things into existence. And that's not to say that he doesn't believe what he's saying, because I think he does, but I think he understands, like, there's a power in saying out loud certain things that people are maybe afraid to say out loud. If you've been a Husker fan for a while, it's almost scary to say, hey, they're going to go 8-4 or 9-3 and be in the CFP discussion. And, like, he'll say it out loud. Like, this is an expectation. Like, you're not going to shy away from that. And I think that emboldens players in that moment. Like, you think about what he said about the defensive line last week. It's hell on wheels. It's going to be a good group. And he said, it's not, they've heard enough that they're not going to be good. Like, I'm here to say they are going to be good. Like, that kind of thing, I think, happens quite a bit. You hear a little bit of that on special teams, I think. Like, yeah, they're going to be good. Or you hear it in close games. Like, him's coming out and saying, I think it was at Media Days, that he's excited for that first close game so that guys can show what they've been doing and can finish. Like, that's something that when you get in the moment, if you're a fan, you're probably going to be like, oh gosh, here we go. It's a 3-point game late. How are they going to find a way to let this slip away? And he's speaking it out the other way and saying, I'm embracing these moments. So I think that's one of the things he's really good at, is those spots where there does need to be improvement, where the narrative has to go away that hasn't gone in a while. He's going to get out in front of it and say, I expect this, because we've been putting in the work, and I believe in our guys. So I think that's another thing that is important about these next few weeks. Like, you're back in full pads now. You're doing full team activities. Like, start getting those reps that are going to produce positive results, maybe in ways that you haven't seen. Start building up that belief, so then when it happens, at least internally, it's not going to be as big of a shock, because they've been practicing it and thinking in that mindset for so long.
Let's talk some linebackers. Saturday night was not set up for like a linebacker crew to just dominate and go, wow. I think we kind of know what Nebraska has there. One of the great linebacker numbers, he won't go away, is Jacob Bauer. Jacob Bauer is talked about. He doesn't go away. He's running with the 1s. He's running with the 2s. Learn Jacob Bauer. But as you look at this linebacker core, because I look at Javen Wright is tall. Okay. He definitely stands out. You could almost say, hey, is he a wide receiver? Then you got Shavers, who Shavers is thick, and I think he's a do-all blitzer. I think he's going to be a do-all everything. And then Watson Trent next to those guys looks a little bit small. How do you think right there, because you got Shavers and Watson Trent essentially playing the same position, how do you think that plays out during the course of the season? Who's on the field when?
Yeah, I think it's in pretty good shape, the position group. You know, I feel like you'll probably start with Watson Trent and Shavers, and those are two guys that are in interesting points in their careers. I mean, Watson Trent's played a whole career's worth of college football already, and he gets his last year, and Shavers is just on the rise. So it's kind of a fascinating dichotomy just in that regard alone. But I mean, yeah, Watson Trent, he's heard it his whole life. Like, he's a little bit undersized for maybe a traditional middle linebacker in the Big Ten, but one thing that you can count on is he's going to be in the right spot at the right time. He's going to fill his gaps, you know, assignment sound, as they say. He's going to hit hard, and whether he's given up a couple inches or not, like, it's probably not going to show up in a lot of those run stuffs, especially. So I imagine he's going to be out there quite a bit. Shavers, certainly. I mean, his rise toward the end of last season was really impressive. Shavers' rise towards the end of last season was really impressive too, and especially what he did in the Pinstripe Bowl. I think that propelled him into the season he's going to have. So I imagine those two guys will be on the field a lot. Right, Javen Wright's interesting to me just because he's so versatile. I mean, he's been a safety for years at Nebraska. You could see him filling a whole bunch of different roles. He could be kind of a rover nickel type if they wanted him to be. You know, he hasn't started a ton of games. It's nice to see that he's healthy. So kind of how that translates, I'll be curious if they view him as an every down back or linebacker, or if he's in more specialty type of situations. And Bauer's kind of the ultimate wild card. I mean, Matt Rule's been speaking positively of him since the spring. And, you know, like you said, he's been with the ones and the twos and is in that mix. The other thing that we don't necessarily know about this linebacker group under John Butler as the defensive coordinator is how often they want to rotate. You know, with Tony White, they did rotate 3 or 4 guys pretty consistently, and you had your 2 starters, but you also had a couple of other guys who received pretty similar snaps. So is that how this shakes out, or do you kind of have a couple of guys that emerge maybe in Watson Trent and Shavers? So at the very least, they have depth, and maybe more than that, they have some rotational depth that you're going to see, you know, show up here early in the year, because they do have different body types and different skill sets.
You bring up depth. Gary and I had a really good convo about how it feels like there's just plenty of positions on this team. If they were to go down, or maybe if someone isn't performing, you're very comfortable with what's behind them, and you know, whether those guys can become starters and develop. Do you feel that way, Evan, about the quarterback situation, about the quarterback room?
No, not as much as the others. And I at this moment, I think I'd put running back in that discussion as well, where you feel like maybe there's, certainly in terms of like on-field proven production, there's a pretty big drop off. It was interesting seeing Jalen Gramstad in action. Like, we hadn't seen him in a live, like, competitive setting like that as a Husker. So, you know, I thought his arm strength was impressive. He showed off a few downfield throws. He was able to tuck it and run a few times and looked like an athlete doing it. So, I mean, clearly he can do the things that Nebraska wants him to do in terms of, like, schematically, situationally. I mean, he's been through it all, even if a lot of it was at a lower level. He wants to be a coach someday, probably. So you feel good about him just knowing where to go with the ball. But yeah, like, you know, you wonder about, like, what a situation would occur if Raiola was out for multiple games down the stretch, like, you know, what that would look like for Nebraska for whatever reason. Like, I think Dana Holgorsen has made clear that, you know, Marcos Davila and TJ Lateef are still early in their development, and that makes a lot of sense. They're new to the program. They're still young players. So I think it is what it is. Like, it doesn't strike me as a position group that you're going to see a lot of movement in this year. It's going to be Raiola, it's going to be Gramstad, and then you've got your younger guys that you're building up. So I don't know what that would look like over the course of multiple games. Again, I think we've seen sort of iterations of that. I mean, we've seen games when Andrew Bunch was the starter or when Noah Vedral was the starter, and like they knew what to do with the ball, but maybe they just weren't athletically, physically quite at the same level as the starter. So I think you kind of have that situation here. I think long term, the position group looks solid. I mean, with the development of Davila and Latif looks sound. You've got Dayton Raiola coming in, Trey Taylor, committed for the future. So I think long term it's looking good. But yeah, this year you wonder how different that offense would look. I do think what we saw from Gramstad in the open practice, though, it tells you he does have some ability, and that's maybe one of the big questions is how big that drop off would be if Nebraska had to go to him down the stretch for whatever reason.
God, no messing around week 2 and week 3. There's an opportunity to play some backup quarterbacks because I want to see Latif play in a game. Evan Bland of the World Herald joining us. Let's go back to defense, because one of the things they showcased the other night was wide receivers against defensive backs, and getting off man coverage or applying press coverage. And, it was pretty heated. I thought Jeremiah Jones was going to square up, and I actually kind of wanted to see it. But if you go back, like one thing that Marvin Sanders had when he was the defensive back coach, his DBs would cook wide receivers at the line of scrimmage, and they were already winning that, and it would throw off the play. What did you take away from the defense and the offense that they are, we've heard about physicality every single day in the offseason, that they showcase that, and where guys were getting after it, whether it be the defensive backs or the wide receivers? What were your thoughts on that drill that was pretty animated?
Yeah, definitely. Animated. It was competitive, kind of like we were talking about earlier. Like every single ball downfield was contested, and the crowd was into it. It was one of the more telling, I think, drills of the entire night. I mean, you had, and both sides had their moments. I thought Andrew Marshall looked good at times. Sear Wright had his wins. You had, Jeremiah Charles certainly was involved in a lot of these plays. I thought the DBs showed some attitude. Like they were not afraid to jam some receivers at the line of scrimmage, and they were not afraid to maybe hang on receivers a little bit on the back end with a deep ball. And you had a couple of receivers get up, like Ja'Cory Barney and others, like, get off me, man. Like, I get it. Like you're annoying. It's kind of the younger brother, older brother sort of vibe to it a little bit there. So I liked the attitude from the DBs. I thought the receivers looked pretty good too. I mean, on a night when Dane Key was on the sideline on a stationary bike, like I thought they showed some depth. I mean, Keelan Smith was really athletic, had some hands catches. Yeah. Quinn Clark, I thought, showed some speed. Those are guys that we've heard about but really haven't seen in a live setting much at all. Cortez Mills had a couple of big plays too. I mean, I think when you say that those guys flash, it really seemed like that was sort of, those were the drills where you saw it, where there were moments when the receivers would have big plays, and then there were moments when the DBs came back and just said, not this time. And they were annoying, and I think it was the play of the defense that kind of got under the skin of the receivers to where they were getting a little hot in the head late, and you had that scuffle that resulted in all the players doing up downs. And like, that's the kind of stuff I think that you could see play out in a game. I mean, if your starting secondary is irking the opposing offense to the point to where you get in the second half and that frustration boils over, I mean, that can be the difference between winning a game or finishing a drive or whatever it might be. So I loved the competitiveness of that drill, and I thought really it spoke well for what both sides are doing in terms of mentality and the talent that they have in the room.
I think there are incredibly high expectations for the special teams unit this year just because Mike Eckler is the special teams coordinator. From what you saw at the practice Saturday, do you think people's expectations for what the unit might look like is well placed?
I think so. What's funny is I just tweeted out a couple updates during the practice, and I had an Iowa fan respond and say, "Is this an update about an Iowa special teams practice?" And it was kind of funny, but at the same time, it's like, dang, that's a pretty high compliment coming from an Iowa fan about what's going on with the Nebraska special teams workout. So, I mean, there was nothing to really nitpick about. You had the kicking session where you had John Hall and Tristan Alvano and Kyle Cunanan, they all had kicks between 28 and 43 yards, and nobody missed a kick. Like that tells you where that kicking competition is going into the second week. And then, I mean, I've been a big Archie Wilson fan since he's been on campus, and you've just been able to see what he can do. Like to see him in an actual live practice like that, kicking with both feet. He was just past midfield and putting pretty much everything within 15 yards of the end zone on the other side. Like, it was just incredibly impressive. The distance, the accuracy, the consistency, rolling out both ways. Like, you can absolutely see how that's going to be, an advantage for Nebraska here down the stretch. And I get you got to see it in the game, and it's one thing in workouts, but it just feels like from a specialist standpoint, like you have the solution is in the room somewhere, especially on the kicking side. Who that ends up being is going to be up to the coaches and how things play out. But like, you've got three capable guys who've done it in different spots, and then you hear what players say about Mike Eckler and the energy, and Ja'Cory Barney talking last week about leading the country in punt return yards. Like, whether he does or not, he's got the swagger to do it, and that's half the battle, especially at that punt returning position. So I think I like where they are from a headspace perspective. You wouldn't, just to watch them and to hear them, you wouldn't know how badly that unit struggled last year and in recent memory. So I think that's a big part of it is forgetting about what it's been, looking ahead to what you can be. And maybe that's, you talk about culture in the room with Eckler and everything. I think that's where you see it, is like these guys, you haven't heard them talk about last year at all. It's all about what you can do moving forward, the excitement they had to contribute in that phase. And so I like where it's headed. I've been burned on that forecast before through the years, but it really does feel like they have the pieces in place and the guy in charge of that group that really cares to make a difference here this season.
Well, remember what, and I don't believe you were there, but Matt and I were at the, Mike Eckler was at the Jet Award because he basically was living out of a suitcase and just got into Lincoln and came up for the event. And he said, as he was closing, he said, it's our goal to be presenting the winner here next year. And that would be Ja'Cory Barney, who I thought, Evan, he played to the crowd, going back to the physicality of the DBs versus wide receivers. Man, Ja'Cory Barney is not afraid of contact. There's a lot to like about year two of Ja'Cory Barney in this offense with Holgorsen. And then you throw in being a punt return guy. But I think we're seeing a guy turn into an all-around wide receiver.
Totally. Yeah. A year ago, he was a true freshman who had success, but you can tell he's thicker than he was last year. Like, I don't know that he would have embraced maybe the amount of contact last year that he does now. The punt returning thing, man, like that's so hard to do at the college level when you've got guys bearing down on you. And I don't know that Nebraska's always had willing or able punt returners back there, for certainly not in a number of recent years necessarily. And he embraces it. Like, he's excited about it. He's the guy during the kicking competition who's off to the side, like trying to distract these guys. He's playing to the crowd. Like, he's a reminder, I think, of that even in the current college football era, like, it can still be fun. It can still be about big personalities. It can be about bold proclamations that can be, at least in part, backed up by what you do on the field. Like, he's not afraid to talk big just because Nebraska's struggled in recent years or because the offense was a mess for a lot of last season. Like, I think it speaks to the confidence he has, the kind of guy he is. I think there are other players like him on the team kind of waiting to come out a little bit. And, some of Nebraska's best teams have those big personalities that aren't afraid to speak out and be kind of the face of what they are. I think Barney absolutely could be that. And in an off season where we talk a lot about the transfer upgrades and some of the young guys, it's almost easy to forget.
Yep.
You've got your returner and a major playmaker back in Barney. And I think he, put a pretty strong reminder out there that he's going to be a major factor in the offense and probably just in the spirit of the team this season.
Yep. Evan, as always, we appreciate it. Good seeing you the other day. Have a good week. We'll get a week 3 update next week.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks, Evan.
Evan Bland. Two guys that we just kind of took for granted because they were returners, and you're like, okay, they're going to be good players. Reminded everybody that they're good players on Saturday night. Ja'Cory Barney and Vincent Shavers. If we're kind of similar in the way, they're Florida guys, but
Yeah.
they're similar in the way they go about their business. They like to have fun.
Yeah.
I think Ja'Cory Barney
Facts.
smiles while he's playing football. You can't see it in his helmet, but I think the kid smiles the entire time. He enjoys playing ball. Man, those two guys, they were 1 and 17 were noticeable the other night.
If Ja'Cory Barney, if they can get him on more vertical routes this season, right, whether it be corners or post or just seams, just something in the slot where they can get him, kind of what they did with Jalen Lloyd sometimes would have those longer type of completions. I mean, not a lot, but it happened. They can get that from Barney as opposed to just the crossers and just the horizontal stuff. Man, he could be a top wide receiver in the Big Ten easily.
All right,
Easily.
we'll take a break. Come back. The last hour is ahead of us on a Monday on 1620 The Zone. All right, quick SummerSlam thought here. Cody Roman 3 WrestleMania.
No.
You think Punk
Punk.
and Rollins?
Punk. So I think it'll be. I'm kind of over the Punk and Rollins thing. Like
I think that's the goal. I just don't know how they
We've
stretch
had
it out this long.
But they'll never let Punk be the champ again, will they?
Oh no, I think he will. I think they'll let it happen.
I think maybe the end game is him winning at Mania.
What
I just don't know how they make it stretch out that long. We'll see.
I just want matches. I think WWE often falls into the we'll get to that eventually. We'll kick the can down the road. Like we'll be able to do that in a different pay-per-view or like in a different Mania. I want Rollins Reigns for the World Heavyweight title. I just want them to have a main event WrestleMania match.
That would be good.
One-on-one, old-fashioned, just Shield members. It'd be perfect. And then give me Punk Cody and maybe turn Punk heel. Like make Punk like a true bad guy.
See, I thought that's what they were going to do last night. And of course, it was clouded over by the Sex Pest who came out and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
I thought Cody was going to go heel.
I did too.
That would have been a better storyline than after Cody Rhodes beats Cena at SummerSlam, and then Lesnar comes out, and him and Cena, who have a history, they do their thing.
I think a Cody heel turn will come, and it will be magical. It will be incredible. Talk about kids crying. And if you followed his ROH stuff when he left WWE the first time, he was a heel on the indies, and he was an incredible. Cody Rhodes doesn't get to where he's at right now unless he's a great heel in the indies. So that'll be awesome. I'm pissed off, not because
you should be pissed off that they brought Brock Lesnar out.
Not fully because of that. I'm pissed off because it's like it just seemed like they waved the white flag on the John Cena storyline over the last week.
Well, you know who screwed him was The Rock.
Well, The Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. I have not watched episode 5 of Unreal, which, by the way, I hate Unreal. I can't stand it. I don't like it. I don't.
Well, I
don't care.
I already know what season 2 is going to be about. It'll be about Rollins.
It will be,
and the fake of his injury.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
So that's going to be season 2.
But like, I didn't watch episode 5 because I didn't want to get secondhand embarrassment from like the storyline just be completely being
including
screwed
Travis
up.
Scott in any of that was one of the stupidest things.
Don't get me started. Don't get us started.
Well, they let Rock have a lot of say in what happened, and then Rock disappeared.
And then he just leaves.
The one thing that WWE really has going for it is they have a good run of celebrities doing well. So
great point.
Logan Paul.
Jelly.
Hey, Bad Bunny might be the most talented person walking the face of the earth right now. Look at him in Happy Gilmore 2. Look at him in wrestling. Bad Bunny. He's a great American. He can do anything.
He really can.
I think if you sent Bad Bunny overseas, he could do a lot of things.
He's like the athletic Justin Timberlake.
He can do everything right now. But good on Jelly Roll. Boy, Jelly Roll took some bumps
he got
the other night.
Butt kicked.
Yeah,
but
he did really well.
He did.
So they've got this run of celebrities that show up instead of going, oh, geez.
Yeah.
Like they add more than they subtract. And I was impressed by Jelly Roll.
That choke slam. Like, first off, credit to Logan Paul selling. I mean, he fed him. I mean, he got up high for that choke slam. My mother does not like wrestling. I told her Jelly Roll was wrestling. She goes, oh, I want to see Jelly Roll. She sat down and she watched a wrestling match. And she was like, wow, Jelly Roll looks good. He looks skinny.
I guess
he lost a lot of weight. Well, that was literally proof of concept right there for me. I was like, this is why they do it. Because you have this middle-aged woman who has never given a damn about WWE wrestling, who is now sitting on her couch, fully invested, watching. Now she knows who Randy Orton is. Now she knows that Logan Paul is like, by the way, Logan Paul should be a world champion. He should be a world champion. He's got the look. He's got the athleticism.
I don't know if the crowd would like that.
Exactly. That's the way you do it.
Triple H is in his bag. We don't need him running college football. Okay.
Nah.
So the storylines, because there's stuff that is unpredictable. And then the whole Rollins thing where, a couple weeks ago, he's on crutches with his daughter. Yeah. So what is that sexual trafficking case that Lesnar is involved in right now?
So essentially, for those who don't know, Vince McMahon very much tied up in this lawsuit. And Brock Lesnar was a named member in this lawsuit, as to basically Vince McMahon was trying to have somebody that he was entangled with Brock Lesnar. From what we know, Brock didn't do anything illegal, but he definitely was tied up in some very, very not so good stuff. And Brock Lesnar, also just known as not the best human, has made plenty of mistakes
No.
and has been
So why did they need
is
him last
awful
night?
to do business.
Like
because
he doesn't have the persona
I'll
that
tell you why.
fans used to have for him.
But here's
He just showed up.
Here's the deal. He's still a money match.
I'm very
He's still
well,
a money maker.
I'm very curious to see what the reaction is. It's like you come back, whatever.
He's heel.
What's the reaction in the next few weeks
yeah.
when people know he's going to be on the shows?
He's still the main event, man. He like you see him on a card and you want to see him wrestle. He's still that way,
Okay.
which is
So,
just why they did
a
it.
sport that is banging right now doesn't need a guy who
Well-
has enabled and participated in a torture of a young woman. I don't know. That's just me.
No, I couldn't. Well, the thing is too is that WWE in the past has needed to get desperate in order to
But they
have
don't
stars.
need to.
They don't.
They
They,
don't need
have
to.
so
why
many
do you bring
guys
out a
now.
sex trafficking lawsuit guy?
They don't.
What are we doing? What were we doing last
You
night?
know why though? Because he sells tickets. The guy sells a ton. I'm not saying it's right.
I
I'm
think-
totally in lockstep with you. But
I
I'm
think
telling you,
I think
he's the main event.
SummerSlam was banging. Triple H, what he's doing, and then that came, and I don't think
Sucks the
they're
air
gonna. I don't
out.
think they're gonna enjoy the pushback. And there's heavy pushback on
Oh,
including
there
him
should
because
be.
they didn't need to.
Didn't it feel like Cena? First off, looked great yesterday. Looked really good.
I need to
Looked
watch it still, but I
fast.
heard it was like his best effort in a
Well,
while.
so here's what I'm going to throw out here. I don't know how many more proper matches he's going to have because it seemed like they unloaded the tank last
What
night.
is it?
It kind of felt like
December is it.
He's down
December is
to
it.
13 appearances.
he'll be in Boston.
He'll be in France and Australia later.
I
on.
just think yesterday they kind of unloaded the tank and they were like, man, we're not going to give you 40 minutes to really perform as much down the line. So whatever you haven't done, like whatever you haven't done before, we're going to let you do it. And he took, he wasn't taking old man wrestling bumps. He was taking legitimate, like, oof.
Is Tyrese Halliburton more out and about since his injury?
Do you think he's a little more
I
spry?
think he's less out and about.
He was
I feel
enjoying
like
the New York
even
crowd.
during the season, he was in the WWE ring. They did a face-off with him and Jalen Brunson in the
He
middle
was
of the
there
year.
last night and he had one of his crutches stolen. Damn Cena.
That was a good spot. And then he looked at him funny too. He like played into the crowd. I'm just mad that they had this big grandiose idea about what John Cena's final run was going to be. And yesterday they essentially were like, yeah, we're actually going to do what we probably should have done. And we're just going to play the hits. We're going to call up Adam Copeland and see if he wants to come back as Edge for the night. And that's all they're missing.
That's probably coming.
If I don't know when Cope's deal's done, but if Cope's deal is coming up, WWE should absolutely unload the truck and have him come because that's the only guy he hasn't wrestled. He's wrestled Punk, he's wrestled Orton, he's wrestled Lesnar. He needs to wrestle Edge, and then you're done. Or he should put LA Knight over.
Oh, I'm waiting for more Brock Lesnar.
Said nobody.
He is a
Said
money-
nobody in the year 2025.
No, he's still a money match.
He's a horrible person.
He is.
Okay.
I'm not.
I'm not denying
pushing-
the fact he's a draw. I'm
Yeah.
just saying not a
a
single
mega
soul
draw.
was clamoring for him to.
Hey, you got it.
return.
His pop was a little bigger than I.
Because people are like,
Pop was pretty big.
what are we doing here?
Well, it was just the pure shock of. I mean, even Daniel Cormier, very, very famously, like 2 weeks ago, was like Brock is on the blacklist for TKO, and now they've. I don't know. Once again, you have Logan Paul, you have Randy Orton, you have Cody Rhodes, you have Roman Reigns, you have Punk, you have Cena. You have so many guys where there is not a main event spot that is
Yeah.
open. There's not. You're not like, oh my God, I wonder who's going to main event Money in the Bank. I wonder who's going to main event Royal Rumble. I wonder who's going to main event Mania. You should have your Mania card right now. Your Mania card should be done. And then they bring this guy. I don't know. It's a lot of problems, but he's still a draw.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Matt and Peter will carry the rest of the way. It's pouring here in Omaha, by the way, if you are wondering.
Oh joy! I was going to mow today. Guess I won't be doing that.
Oh, to be out of here. No problem. You'll
You'll
be
be
able to
fine.
mow. Yeah. It'll be nice and humid. Real summer is back.
Get a good sweat
None of this,
on.
none of the, I woke up Saturday morning and it felt like nice late September, early October football weather. I was
Yeah.
ready to go hit somebody. Went back in the house, tried on the old helmet, squeezed the ears so tight. I thought, it's here.
Did
It's
you?
here.
Did
Maybe
you,
that's why I woke up this morning dreaming of how Michigan paints their helmets.
That's probably why you woke up in bear weather. That's what you woke up in. A little bit windy, a little bit incredible. Nothing better.
Yeah. You know what,
Nothing
though?
better.
Not really, because if it was true bear weather, then I would have fallen down after I got out of bed, or I would have fumbled like when I was brushing my teeth while I was going to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden the toothbrush goes into the toilet.
You would have thrown the
Right.
toothbrush into your
Yeah,
jar and,
and then-
miss it, and then pout because you didn't throw
and
it
then
in
I
there.
would have walked around my house, whining and stuff.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I feel like you're going to this is going to be a miserable fall for me if the Bears are bad with you as my co-host. I'm just fearful of the fact that you're going to come in every Monday being victorious, and I'm going to come in every Monday being incredibly disappointed by my team's just lack of discipline, or just the fact that my quarterback probably isn't generational.
I mean, we got to fix some things. I mean, I got to get Josh Simmons to punch more. But, maybe Mahomes.
Maybe Xavier Worthy can have a really big year because I kept him in my fantasy league.
Maybe Rice won't be suspended for more than 4 games, and we're good.
I had my fantasy football punishment because I finished last season. I have to go to a bowling alley
Mhm.
and I have to bowl a 300. And every beer that I drink, I subtract 10 points, 10 pins from what I have to bowl.
So it's like the
okay.
equivalent of the Waffle House thing?
Yes,
That's
but
cool.
it's bowling. So I have to. Now, I'm going to tell you, sober, I went bowling to practice.
Yeah.
I didn't break 100.
How do you not break 100 in bowling?
I'm not good at bowling. I'm a terrible bowler. I'm terrible. I'm known to be very
You
bad.
could just do granny style and you would get more than 100.
I'm
Now, you might
telling
only
you,
get
I'm-
101. But
I bowl with 2 hands and I do the little spin thing, the hook thing, and I just can never get a strike. I don't know if I don't throw it hard enough or if I'm a wuss,
but
but
do you get any pins?
I can't pick up spares. I'm not very good at
But
it.
do you get any pins?
I scored an 82 in both
Do you
games that we
confuse
played.
the scoring system? Like, are you going to roll the ball? And you like, I just rolled it
So-
twice.
So I played bowling on Friday
Hmm.
and I went played golf on Saturday. My bowling score was lower than my golf score. Okay. That's
Okay.
that's how bad it was.
Got some work to do.
Broke 100 on golf.
All right. Good. Then did you play hole 10, 11, 12?
No, I played
Oh.
17 and 18.
We're back with more Gary and Matt after this on 1620 The Zone.
Gary and Matt here, 1620 The Zone, taking you home for the last hour. Me and Peter, man.
Howdy.
On, ones and twos. You see what happened in Bristol Motor Speedway? In the
I
last
saw I
couple of
got
days?
absolutely drenched on Saturday.
Well, first off, has anyone in the MLB offices never watched NASCAR before? Okay. It rains at that place. Like that place, I mean, just in general, just at racetracks in general, there's some, I feel like there's a magnet for like rain. Like anytime you're at the track, I feel like there's always a chance that it's going to be rain.
Well, it's like just such an all day affair when you go to races that there's bound to be at least some. If
Well,
it's in
sure.
the middle of summer, there's something's going to happen. But
Well,
I'm sure that MLB was so.
They were not prepared at all.
Yeah,
It
seemed like they were like,
they-
oh, this will go off without a hit.
They had nachos with no cheese, which by the way is crazy. Like that's
That's not nachos.
Well, you're not even. So is that corn tortilla chips that they have in the nachos? Those I've never been
Yeah,
able to
sure.
find. So those chips that you eat, the nacho chips at a game, I feel like I never can find them at a grocery store or anything like I can't replicate it. The only other place I find it is at the AMC movie theater, but I never buy them because it costs $11 or something ridiculous like that.
They out at the ballpark at Storm Chasers games, they'll serve, and I get these probably once a home stand just because
Sure.
I'm always randomly craving them. It's just a bag of Tostitos.
Okay.
Like I don't know what exactly they call
Sure.
them, but yeah, it's literally here's your cup of cheese, here's a bag of chips, and then you can just dump them into the little box they give you.
I love the Storm Chasers game because I can make a Chicago hot dog at a Storm Chasers game. They have some
over at
elite,
Hot Dog Nation.
Yeah, they have elite toppings. I can get tomatoes and relish and sport pepper and onion and pickle.
We had a little chili cheese corn dog special. It was pretty good.
Oof. Chili cheese.
I got all over that.
See, we need to hot honey needs to be out, and chili cheese needs to be in. I feel like
I'm all on board with that.
Yeah, I just feel like give me just a chili, more chili cheese sandwiches, chili cheese pizza, chili cheese whatever. Like give me whatever in chili cheese. I had a chili cheese hot dog from Portillo's.
Oh,
Good. I'm still thinking about it.
that's
Right?
the only thing I've ever had from Portillo's.
What, a chili cheese hot dog?
Yeah, because I think it was in it was Chicago like a year and a half ago. I went for Survivor Series.
Oh God.
It was the one that Punk
Punk
returned
returned
at.
it.
It was crazy, and I was like, let's get Portillo's. I haven't
Is
had
chili
Portillo's
better as a topping or is it better eaten just straight up? Is a great question. I think I prefer to eat things. I prefer to put things on top of chili. Or sorry, put chili on top of things.
It does
and then
hit
have those
different when
things.
it's on top of stuff.
Like chili mac and cheese.
You know what? I'll throw that up on the.
Is
that's a
chili
good
better as a
poll.
topping? I think chili is way better as a topping than it is just straight up. I don't know. I mean, that stuff runs through you like S through a tin can too. I mean, with chili, which is why you got to be careful with the Skyline chili. But I just think that when you have a protein and you put chili on top of it is way better than when you just eat chili straight up. But once again, we are way too much into this like buffalo chicken and roasted poblanos and hot honey. We just don't show enough love for chili, an incredibly underrated thing to eat. Also, things that are underrated: the Nebraska linebacking core. I don't know how I feel about the linebackers this year, and it doesn't have to fully do with their ability because I think they have a ton of ability. I think Javen Wright is built different. He's a hell of an athlete, long, tall. He could be fast. I mean, that 2 years ago against Maryland, that strip that he had toward the end of the game and that fumble recovery where, the running back was literally falling to his back and Wright grabs him and rips that ball out. It was one of the best plays that I've seen a Nebraska defender make in the last couple of years. And I think he's perfect in terms of his speed and his versatility for what they're trying to do with that defense. Then you have Vincent Shavers, who, talk about him and Willis McGahee, came on strong at the end of the year, where
Oh yeah.
you're getting to the point where it's, because a lot of the faces on last year's defense was pretty familiar, and you get to know what they look like. Like I know what, immediately a tackle is made, and okay, that's Kamari Butler, that's Deshaun Singleton, that's Ty Robinson, just because they were household names. But it was getting to the point where you're like, all right, these two cats that I haven't seen a whole lot of, McGahee and Shavers, they just seem to have their nose in everything, and it culminated in Shavers playing an incredible game. in the Pinstripe Bowl, and then you have Marquise Watson-Trent, who is what was incredible in the Sun Belt Conference, and is one of the very rare guys that Matt Rule has recruited, frankly, just purely on you were great last year, just off of merit of like, oh, you had an incredible high production and lower level. We think we can bring you here and we can coach you up and you can do that. But I'm concerned about the group, not necessarily because they're not good or they're not athletic or anything. I'm concerned about the group because when you run a 3-3-5, and we're getting to the point in football where nickel packages are they're not packages anymore. It's almost as if nickel is like the standard defense, right? You sacrifice some size for speed. And if you're going to have some smaller linebackers, you need to have that requisite girth in front on that defensive line, because some of the best D linemen, some of the most effective linemen, and maybe this is more so in the NFL, they don't necessarily get the sacks and the tackles for loss and like all those. They just move bodies. They hold bodies. They move people out of the way. So linebackers, I mean, that's what a nose tackle does more than anything is, hey, we're going to move bodies out of the way to make sure that the linebackers come here and clean up the stuff. And Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmaker were incredible at doing that last year, right? And I mean, also too, like, look at the Philadelphia Eagles from an NFL perspective. They have some smaller guys, right? Like Nolan Smith doesn't necessarily weigh as much as, you think a linebacker should or an edge should. Nakobe Dean is a very notoriously small. Nick Bond is probably the closest they have in terms of backers that are up to size and weight. But like they have some smaller, faster guys all over that defensive backfield. But look what they have up front. They have a Carter. They have a Jordan Davis. Last year they had Milton. Now, funny enough, who did they draft in the 3rd round? Or I think it was 4th round. Ty Robinson, right? Who's going to do exactly that for them.
Yep.
So I like the back. I really like the linebacking room in terms of, man, they're athletic, man, they're smart, man, they can play. There's familiarity, at least from Shavers and Wright, on, how they want the defense to run. But it's like, man, if Riley Van Poppel and Cam Lenhart and Elijah Judy and Jalen George, don't hold up their end of the bargain up front, I think it's going to be incredibly tough sledding, especially for Watson-Trent. Because I saw him at the Husker games. And I only knew it was Watson-Trent because of, he was wearing a shirt on the last name. His last name was on the back. He's not necessarily like, I mean, he's 5'11". He's not very like physically imposing, but it has not mattered because he's a beast. If you've watching him play at Georgia Southern, he was absolutely incredible. Tore up that league. But it is kind of one of those valid things of like, can he do it? I mean, if Marcus Watson-Trent gets like 80% of his production that he had at Georgia Southern, he's going to do perfectly fine because he was a beast out there. But I really worry about the run defense and I worry about the size. And I also, too, am totally fair and right within the fact to be concerned about the injury history as well.
Yeah.
Like Javen Wright.
That's another
man. Like he'll be a pretty big piece of this defense. But it's unfortunate because it hasn't even really been football injuries necessarily. I mean, it's been other medical stuff that is incredibly concerning that you're like, oh, if he can stay healthy, he hasn't. And so then you start trying to look down the too deep, and it just, and that position, I don't think is thin. I don't think it's nearly as thin as maybe the quarterback room or the running back room, but I don't think it's as concerning. Well, it's not as deep as, look, if somebody gets hurt in the secondary, God forbid, but if somebody gets hurt in the secondary, are you worried at all? I'm not worried one bit. I'm not worried for a second because they got guys. Okay, they have dudes. And they have young guys and they have older dudes. Like, I have no issue with the guys that they might have to bring in if somebody gets hurt in the secondary. I feel the same way about the O-line.
I think that's fair.
I don't know.
Oh, go for it.
I mean, I just don't do. That's another problem with with this team too is the whole like I love that there's a lot of competition. I love that there's a lot of position battles. I do wish that they had some more guys where you're like, man, they don't have a preseason All-American, right? Like they don't have he's for sure going to go in day 1 or day 2 of the NFL
Yeah,
draft.
no
guy coming back.
guarantees.
Now they have a lot of guys who could develop into that. I think Dylan Raiola can develop into that. I think Riley Van Poppel. I think Cam Lenhart can develop into that. I think Sierra Wright and maybe even Andrew Marshall can develop into those type of players. But it's a team that there's a lot of competition and there's a lot of and I'm a fan of it too. But it also is missing that just all right. We know every single snap this guy's going to go out and perform to the highest level. Which is why the season is all about development. Because this team, truthfully, is a year away.
Yeah, a lot of the positions that we feel pretty good about, it's going to be kind of a trial by fire, like right away getting thrown into things.
Well, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be trial by. I mean, Lenhart and Van Poppel have played. But they haven't played. But you are right in the fact that they haven't played to as many snaps as Robinson did or Huntmaker did, and it's like there's no guarantees. And that's part of the reason why I'm on an 8-4 schedule and not necessarily on the 9-3 or 10-2, because there's just not enough returning high level production from a all Big Ten first team, all Big Ten second team perspective coming back into this team. There are plenty of guys who can develop into that, but I think this team is a year away. I think you can just say straight up, team's a year away. Dylan's going to you hope he takes a jump from year 1 to year 2, but man, that jump from year 2 to year 3, it could be a lot bigger. And I think you can go down the line in a way in terms of guys where you can think that. Man, I hope Shavers and I hope McGahee, you hope Donovan Jones and Caleb Benning go ahead and take those steps to get better, and then they come back and they take another step. Because I think they are 2 steps away in terms of guys developing from being a college football playoff team. I don't think they're either one big jump or 2 very standard movements in development toward them having a team that could compete for the college football playoff. And I think a lot of 8-4 has become the real popular, prediction for what this team's record is going to be. And, some people might scoff at that because of how weak the schedule is. But if they were to go 8-4, I'll lay this out for you. They go 8-4 and they lose to Michigan, they lose to Penn State, they lose to USC, and they lose to Iowa. Okay? Probably 4 games. They'll probably be underdogs in at least 2 of them, maybe even 3 of them. Go ahead and lose those 4 games. You might think, all right, maybe the 8-4 is a paper tiger, right? They won 8 games, so they didn't. The 4 best teams that they played, they didn't beat. I disagree with that completely, because if they were to go 8-4 and lose to those 4 teams, it means that they beat teams they should have beaten. It means that consistently, week in and week out, they defeated Michigan State at home. They went on the road and they beat Maryland. They went on the road and beat Minnesota. They went and they defeated UCLA and they defeated Northwestern. To me, that's progress. You can't.
That's a lot of games that they wouldn't have won.
Exactly. How many times have they lost? Like Michigan State, week 5. I think it's week 5. I think it's the game after.
Yep, you're right.
It's the game after Michigan. So technically week 6, but it'll be their 5th game of the season. They're at home for that. They've lost that game a lot. They've lost those games before. They lost it last year, right? They lost it last year to UCLA. It's the same game. It's the same game in the way. They've lost that game before. If they win that game, that's progress, right? They lost it. What was it? Not the year before, but the year before that, where Purdue came on. I think it was 2021. Purdue came into town, into Lincoln, and they lost that game, and it was a terrible game. That was a game that people were like, oh, they probably end up winning that game. They have a lot of momentum. Nope, they lose that game. Right? So I understand maybe there could be some pushback. Oh, well, yeah, you won 8-4, but you didn't play a tough schedule. Man, I'm telling you right now, the problem with Nebraska football has never been like, oh, they can't compete with the top teams, because they have.
They did it last year.
They did it last year. They did it in 21 against Michigan. It has been they can't beat the teams that we just all think they're going to beat when the season begins.
That's why I think evaluating it specifically this season on a game-by-game basis is more important than evaluating the whole record. Because some people might look at an 8-4 and be like, "Oh, I wish I could have seen more improvement. Wish I could have seen 9-3 maybe in year 3." But if they do what they need to do, like you said, in the games where they haven't done it in years past, it's hard not to feel good about that.
Well, I do think though, Peter, that there are two schools of thought in terms of judging Matt Rule and judging this team, and maybe judging their future record. The first school of thought is you judge Nebraska just based on them being a football program. You look at them as a blanketed football program, right? You're just like, all right, hey, any football program with this amount of talent, with this schedule, should win 9 games. Okay? That's how some people might look at it. I think other people will look at it in terms of the lens of what this program has been. And so if you look at it that way, 8 wins is a victory and a massive step forward. Because if you're just looking at it from the lens of Nebraska, you're like, they haven't been able to do this in the last 7 years. Thank God Matt Rule has figured out how to finally do that. Now, if you look at it at the lens of they're just a regular old blanketed college football program, you judge them how you would judge any other college football program, you might say, I don't care what they've done in the past. If you're this talented and you're who you say you are, you should win this amount of games. It doesn't matter if it's a step forward or whatever. It's just you should just win. A good coach or a good program would win this amount of games. I think those are two very interesting ways of looking at the Nebraska football program. And I think that's how, like, there are a lot of people who may not be on the Matt Rule train because they judge him in that way. They don't really take into consideration the Scott Frost era, the Mike Riley era. They just go, look, he's 13-12. Or sorry, 12-13. He's 12-13. Right? We've seen other programs guys come in year 1 and they win 8 games. Or they have more success. Right? Now, if you're just looking at Matt Rule through the lens of what Nebraska football has been, he's done a really good job because he made a bowl game. And the guys before him weren't able to do that. So I think that's why this season is incredibly interesting. But it also just kind of boils down to, and this is always going to kind of be, until we get to games, this will be just the end all be all. Nothing is going to get better unless you finally just close out games and you finally win games. I mean, just and that's what. Start. But once again, 8-4, and you lose to USC, Iowa, Michigan, and Penn State. Some people might look at that as week 8-4. I look at that as undeniable progress of, man, finally, Nebraska football had a game at home off of a win where they were favored by 7.5, and they beat them by 21. That's oh my God. Nebraska went on the road to Minnesota to play a team that they might be favored against Minnesota when they go and play that game. They went on the road as a road favorite and they won. Or even more incredible, they went on the road as an underdog and won that game. Undeniable progress. Now, after you go 8-4 this year, the next year, you can start having the conversation of, all right, now they have to have signature wins. Now you have to beat these top teams. But this year, because Peter, I'm looking at it as I'm judging the season based off of the relative lack of success over the last couple of years. And if you look at it that way, despite, some people might be like, oh, that's a weak way of looking at it, or your standards are low. Man, this program didn't go to a bowl game for 7 straight years. 7 seasons they didn't do it. Like, the expectations shouldn't necessarily be super high, and especially how this roster is built. It's an incredibly young roster. You could really make the argument that this roster probably more so embodies what Matt Rule had at year 2 in Temple and Baylor than to necessarily what they had at year 3.
Yeah.
Because in year 3, a lot of those guys on Baylor, and we've talked about this a couple months ago on the show, like a lot of those guys on Baylor had played a ton in their first 2 years, and they had a lot of experience heading in this year. That is a massive concern for people of, you do have
Not
a
a
lack of
luxury that we
experience.
get.
Yeah. But it really, this season just will always boil down to, for me, win enough games and prove that you are actually, because we have heard it over and over again, the standard, the culture, the year 3, that we're doing this, we're doing that, we're getting better. And Matt Rule isn't just telling that to you, and he's not just telling that to me. He's telling that to recruits. And he's telling it to their parents, and he's telling it to anybody else who is interested in his program. And it's like, I'm sure, man, he's a hell of a recruiter. And there are a lot of guys who like him. A lot of guys who like him. But if you go out there and you don't win, it doesn't matter how much I like you. I don't want to play for a 7-5 Nebraska program. I don't want to play for 6-6. I don't want to play to be in the Holiday Bowl. I want to play to be in the college football playoff. And that's how you're speaking. You got to go out there and win like that. So this is an incredible opportunity for them this season with this schedule that they have. But I think this is all about perform well enough to get the boys back for 26. Have those guys take those steps, go out and win those games, and bring them back for 26. And you won't be this year's Indiana or this year's Illinois.
Good foundation.
You'll be a contender for the college football playoff. You'll be an actual team that, because I do think that these CFP discussions are a bit pie in the skyish. I think people who are legitimately thinking, oh, this is a college football playoff team, they're probably, in my opinion, chugging the Kool-Aid a little bit too much. I don't think it's far-fetched, but I don't necessarily agree with it. I just don't think they have enough returning production to do it. But you win 8-9 games this year, Dylan Raiola takes a step, I will definitely be chugging the Kool-Aid heading into 2026 if those things happen. Matt Rule, he's got an incredible connection with his players, and it was very apparent to me when he was talking about some things during the press conference that he had on Saturday that making me believe he might be a little bit different of a coach than we anticipated. We'll talk about that coming up next year at the end of the hour, the end of the show, and then we'll have Connor Happer Show and the crossover coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Listen to Gary and Matt here on 1620 The Zone.
Got a couple of minutes here before we throw it on over to the Connor Happer show, who I have not seen in 10 days. I've not been able to yell at Connor Happer and make fun of Connor
Lots of
Happer or get
catching up
yelled
to
at.
do.
We have a ton of catching up to do. Me and Josh Hodson do as well because we both were movie boys and we were watching some movies. So we got a lot to talk about. So don't go anywhere for the crossover. But you got a couple minutes with me, couple minutes with my annoying ass before we get to Happer. We got a great email. I was going to talk about something with Matt Rule. We can save it for tomorrow.
Let's hear it.
Got a great email from Benoit in the Equitable Bank inbox where they take banking personally. He goes, boys, I need your help. Although teetering because of all the changes the last 10 years, college football is still number one with me, but I also like and closely follow the NFL. However, for the last 30 years, I have not had a favorite NFL team. From the age 5 through 35, I was a huge Colts fan. That faded, and I've not had a favorite team ever since.
Believe me, it's fading for me too.
I really want to have a favorite team. But what I've learned is that it can't be forced. At various times, I've tried to declare a few teams as my favorite, Philly, Detroit, San Francisco, to name a few. However, that doesn't work unless it is in an organic, almost unconscious conversation. It doesn't stick. So, how can I go about finding a new long-term favorite? I've Googled briefly and didn't see a definitive source. Where do I go from here? I need your advice and help. All right, this is a great question.
This is a good question.
Here's the thing. First off, just where were you born, right? That's the simplest way of doing things. If you were born somewhere, you're just their fan. No ifs, ands, or buts about
proximity is the
I'm-
easiest indicator.
Look, if you were born in the heart of New York, right, and you were a Titans fan, I would judge you. Okay, you should be a Jets or a Giants fan. If you were born in Tampa Bay, you should be a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. So on and so forth. Now, obviously, for those who are who live here, you're born in Nebraska. Nebraska doesn't have an NFL team, and so there are different ways to go about it. Right? Proximity. You choose Kansas City. Okay. If you want to go with, oh, my dad was a fan or my mom was a fan. I know some people who are New England Patriots fans because of Irvin Fryer. Right. There are just things that tie you to that team. My advice to Benoit is go to a game. Like, go look at the NFL schedule, see who's playing, see like what the proximity is, and go to US Bank Stadium or go to Arrowhead or go to Lambeau or go to Soldier Field. Okay.
And maybe you go and maybe you just tailgate. Maybe you don't even go to the game.
But it's not even that. Here's why I say go to a game. Because you go to a game, it's an easy way. What if the team wins? What if it's a great game? What if you meet some fans? What if they give you a jersey, right? Like, it's a great way to fall in love with the team, having that fan experience. And
boots on the ground.
My suggestion to Benoit would be, look, go to a game because then at least you can travel to games, right? If you become a Vikings fan, pretty accessible. Go to maybe 1 or 2 Vikings games a year. Same thing with Kansas City. Maybe same thing with Denver. A little bit tougher with Chicago, but you can fly into O'Hare. That's fine, right? Like, do it. Like, if you become I'm gonna be a Raiders fan. Do you really want to go all the way? Like, how accessible is you going all the way out to Vegas all the time going to be? If you're a San Francisco fan, like, how often can you really, like, that's a full trip. But if you become a Vikings fan, you can just drive up whenever you want. Or here's my second suggestion. Seems like Benoit's a big Nebraska fan, right? This is why Nebraska needs to have like an NFL offensive superstar, or needs to have this shining light of like, oh my God, he's so good in the league, because that's a very easy way to root for a team.
Track him, yeah.
Right? Like, hypothetically, let's say Nebraska had Nebraska got Saquon Barkley, and Saquon Barkley was a Cornhusker, and then he goes to the league. You don't think there would be a bunch of little kids who would love to be Giants fans and root for Saquon Barkley because he was a Husker, right? Like, imagine like if Trey Palmer had an incredible year. Let's just like in a hypothetical say that Trey Palmer ended up being like a second-round pick and absolutely stuck. Like, I'm sure there would be people who would be like, yeah, I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan because I love Trey Palmer and I love that he was a Husker. Like, that's another way of doing it too. So do that. Benoit, go to a couple of NFL games, find the atmosphere that you like, that you enjoy, and claim that as your team. Or secondly, pray to God that somebody on Nebraska's offense, or maybe somebody on Nebraska's defense ends up becoming an absolute superstar in the NFL that you can hitch your wagon to. And that's a great excuse. Why do you root for this team? I love this player. Followed him in college. Now I'm following him now. Bang. Bang. That's how you do it. I don't think you don't have to like that's tough. He is right though. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm a Lions fan," or "Oh, I'm an Eagles fan." Like, there's got to be some sort of story or tie or connection. Like, did you find it because you went to UNL, right?
Yep.
Okay. Were you like, but you grew up here in Nebraska?
Yeah.
See, I've had this conversation with kids who came from outer state who went to Nebraska. It wasn't as if, oh, I'm at Nebraska, I'm like diehard Husker now. Like I'm rooting for every single team. It's like, oh my God. It was like you had to find a player. You had to find a moment. You had to find it was a process in terms of like caring. But you're on the campus every day and you're going to that school and everybody else is rooting for them. And there's a sense of school pride. So then eventually that creeps in. But it is a process.
It is.
Charles goes, you mean people choose to become Minnesota sports fans? I'm not saying to choose to become a Minnesota sports fans, especially not after that fire sale that the Minnesota Twins had, which
goodbye
definitely did
the whole
shock a lot
team.
of people that happened. I'm reading this Jerry Jones Rock Nation. Did you see this? Jerry Jones is now beefing with Jay-Z because he brought up a time that Des Bryant, who was represented by Rock Nation, that they didn't return his calls when Jones was trying to negotiate Dez's deal. Here's my thing. Have you ever met people that just like, they're just difficult to be difficult?
Oh yeah.
They
just
want to be difficult. They
stirring it up.
Yeah. It's almost like I know like couples who one of the couples loves to fight. Like that's their thing. Like they need that interaction. They need that conflict in a relationship, so they just pick fights and they have fights and then it fires them up and then they're fine. Right. Like that. I know couples like that. I feel like Jerry Jones is like the NFL embodiment of that. The guy just likes to fight. He just likes getting these scraps and he likes to be in front of a microphone.
He lives for it. He loves the attention.
Oh God.
He's like, more eyes on the Cowboys.
I mean, what do they call literally where his team plays football games? They call it Jerry's World. You tell me that you built
Jerry's World.
You built $1 billion, like spent billions of dollars into this infrastructure, and you named it after yourself, and you don't like the attention. He loves the attention. I forgot what reporter said it, but he was on ESPN, and he said that look, if the NFL gods say, "Hey, Jerry, we'll give you a Super Bowl right now, but you can never do a press conference again." I actually do believe that Jerry Jones probably be like, I'd rather do the press conferences. We all know that's going to figure itself out. Micah Parsons will get $42 million. He ain't getting traded. Terry McLaurin will get his $30 million. He ain't getting traded. This is why the NFL and the NFLPA is going to find out, if they haven't already, which I think they already know, that the owners and everybody else, they rule with an iron fist, more so than any other. They get what they want. This ain't the NBA where you can go, hey, I want to trade and here are my 4 teams. And then they have to do it because they're a bunch of spineless, weak sauce owners and general managers. No. Sit down, Myles Garrett. You're going to sign this contract. So that'll whole lot of nothing. Do you know what wasn't a whole lot of nothing? This show. It was a great show today.
It was.
Had DB on early. That was a great convo. Talked a lot of Husker football. Evan Bland gave a great interview. Go and check that out. I think that's in the 8th segment of the show on the podcast.
Yep. Check it out on the replay.
Had some WWE conversations. Talking about
SummerSlam.
Brock Lesnar. Do you know what's not a nothing burger either? It's the Connor Happer show. And on top of that, what's not a nothing burger is the crossover on the Connor Happer show.
Oh, baby.
That is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. You've been listening to Gary. You've been listening to me, Matt, and Peter on the ones and twos. It's been Gary and Matt on 1620.